everyone.
What would you do if you had my life? Work like me, had them stripes. Would you go hard just to have that ice? But I'm just still trying to have that price. Getting your cooking about to add that spice. Nowadays, dudes never had that fight. When it push bill, better burst your pipes. What would you do if you had my life? Work like me, had them stripes. Would you go hard just to have that ice? But I'm just still trying to have that price. Getting your cooking about to add that spice. Nowadays, dudes never had that fight. When it push bill, better burst your pipes.
The College Baseball Experience regional picks and preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by the SGPN merch store sale. Yes. Use the promo code USA, baby, for 25% off everything in the merch store. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the College Baseball Experience regional preview and picks episode. YouTube.com/the look, I'll play the song all day if you give me that green light. YouTube.com/the College Experience. Hit that like and subscribe button because well. I got a bracket, right? Alcohol is flowing. That's what I'm saying. You print out the bracket. That's what you got to do. All right. I want the paper cuts. I want the fucking paper cuts. But yes, youtube.com/the College Experience. I'm very excited to be here and very excited because this time of year, if you didn't catch the past, well, the whole season really, but the past week was phenomenal. As you saw, just so many great games. I was at the ACC tournament there. Shout out to Tailgate Report. Me and him we're fucking enjoying ACC baseball. Had a hell of a good time, and and uploading, refreshing our phones about every about every like minute just to see what was going on elsewhere in each and every conference. So I mean, it was that time of year. So anyway, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, well, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
It's Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
Yes, I am also joined by my co-host who's been recording for 12 hours. For all you know, he's on the moon. All right. But buddy, how are you? The heartbeat of the College Baseball Experience. Give it up for the great Noah Bieniek. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Wouldn't rather be doing anything else, Colby, than recording during this time of the year. And then tomorrow morning, I'm not a morning guy. 9:30 VEASAN hit too, with Jensen Lewis, former Vanderbilt player, and he'll be on the call in the Morgantown Regional. Yes, baby, the West Virginia Mountaineers are hosting. Moneyline Mac they were at the GOAT for their reveal party, Colby. Like, just come on. These things.
I'm pretty sure this was heard.
Morgantown, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Morgantown, Morgantown WV, Morgantown WV.
No one's ever sober in Morgantown, but you also know, I'm sure like hosting the regional. I mean, Patty C, former co-host of the College Experience, tells a great story of being at a party where a woman grabs a tampon out of her and throws it across the room and hits him in the head. So at a party with many people, great city. But yes, Morgantown, I can't even imagine Moneyline Mac and the debauchery they've been in all day, knowing that they've been hosting. I mean, just absolute chaos. I'm sure they're in Morgantown.
Full clarity too. Like the invite was extended to Mac because he would have brought the house down on the show, but he was like, "Yeah, we knew we were hosting, so I was at the bar all day." And the show would just be me, touting West Virginia, shitting on Pitt, and hating on saying UCLA was soft.
He said,
and I was like,
text. He said hammered. He goes, I'm going to be too hammered for this, and I would just say those things that you just said.
Yeah, and I was like, isn't that a typical College Experience show?
Yeah, but pretty sure that's how we got our bread and butter, right? But shout out to GBO Farms. I'll get to you in a second, buddy. He's a Tennessee fan, if you can't tell. What I want to know is East Carolina ready for that ass kick? Tell me you're going to Chapel Hill because, buddy, here come the pain. I'm sorry. We are also joined by a third man in the booth. So he is the host of the Head First podcast. Make sure you check that out as well. Give it up for the great JP Sponseller. How are you, brother?
I'm great. My Bearcats are headed to Starkville, and I'm going with them. I scheduled everything this morning, and
yes.
So I'm always, anytime I got an excuse to go to the dude, I am there. So I'm pumped about it.
Yeah, and of course I'm gonna be in Chapel Hill. If you're looking for me, I'll be huffing paint in the parking lot. No one's ever done that in Chapel Hill, I don't think. All right, so come on out Friday noon. All right, I'll be there at 6 a.m. All right, so let's go. GBO Farms. Who's going? Joshy boy. Let's go.
Are you gonna hit that up with ECU Pirate Nation? By the way,
I mean, if he's going, he better be going. I'm assuming he's going. Yeah. I have not reached out to the ECU faithful yet,
because damn sure they're gonna have 6 to 8 parking lots blocked off. Like they're gonna claim. I mean, X marks the spot. The flag will be planted.
I know Chapel Hill. They do little creative things to make sure that people don't have fun. Right. We break through all that. I remember when we dropped 70 on them in football. Right. So I know what happens. They have their little creative thing with their little wine and cheese shit, but I know Vol Nation gets down too though. Right. So I know Vol Nation will be coming heavy as well. So this is what's going to be beautiful. You're going to have ECU, dude. Am I crazy to think that like they're going to do some tactics? There's no way. Because Vol Nation ECU, I think, could overpower Carolina fans. I really do. Like they're gonna have some tactics up their sleeve to make sure this is all like Tar Heel blue there. Right? Am I crazy?
No, I don't know what they may have up their sleeve, but I know they're probably prepared.
Dude, Knoxville's like a 5-hour drive.
We were talking about this pre-show. They're gonna be prepared because 24 they hosted LSU. 2025 they hosted Nebraska, who took over the place, so they're gonna have something.
I was at the Nebraska one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. ECU 2 hours away, VCU 2 hours away, Tennessee's like what 5 hours away. Please, buddy. GBO Farms, I cannot wait, buddy. You better show up in Chapel Hill. All right, quit your day job. Show up to Chapel Hill.
Quit your day
job. Let's
quit feeding the cows and get over to Bosch.
I mean, guys, how great it's like. I'm curious how this past week how awesome was all this, man? Watching the Milwaukee Panthers crank out a fucking home run, just one by one, like every game. I'm coming home, even the games that like, because I did not stay at a hotel in Charlotte. I traveled back and forth, right? So like, when I got home, I'm watching games. I'm staying up late watching games. Because the best part about ESPN Plus is that shit just stays on demand there. I mean, there were so many great games this past week. I mean, the Pitt Florida State game was fucking phenomenal. How's it been for you, JP, in the past week, just watching endless games all around the United States? It's the greatest thing ever. College football, you should try this. It's crazy how captivating it is for like the whole nation. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. And I usually like point people towards, obviously it's fun to watch the SEC tournament, ACC tournament, see some of the best teams and the best players in the sport, but it is awesome. And like, if you're a college sports fan at heart and you talk about like NIL is ruining the purity of the sport and college athletics, go watch one of these mid-major conference tournaments, especially lower level, where no one's getting a bid to the tournament unless they win this thing. And like, it's just awesome to watch. If you guys, you were talking about Milwaukee, right? Like the Horizon League will never get 2 bids ever. And like just watching that, it's the old school college sports of like a group of kids just having fun, playing for their life. I don't know. It's awesome to watch. I had a ton of fun. I did nothing but watch college baseball all week.
It's, you know, what's great about it is it's like college basketball where you just have like it nonstop, like everywhere your head's turned. It's like Sunday, I was just like, well, there's this game here, this game there.
Yeah.
Right. Oh shit. There's that there. So all for a ticket to go dancing for the most part. Bieniek, how was it for you, man?
Oh, great. All I do is just lock myself in my basement, aka the command center, and it's games rolling from, I can't lie, I'm not up at 9 a.m., but games are rolling till 2:30 a.m. And then as soon as I wake up, I'm heading down. My family every year does a memorial, weekend up at the family cabin. Got one on the lake with like the extended family, uncles and aunts, and I'm like, nope, I'm staying home. I'm working, aka watching all of the baseball going down. And yes, Colby, you did mention one of the 2 best dog piles of the weekend, but when you get the dog pile at home plate, it's really hard to beat. But Colby, I don't know if you've seen this dog pile yet.
I have, dude. I'm telling you, I'm tapped in all the way, bro.
This dog pile is unbelievable. Yeah. It's Illinois, Chicago, and the catcher
first ever Valley Conference win, right? Or championship, yeah.
And this catcher just pulls out the truck stick on the pitcher. Bam! And
then let that shit roll. This shit gets pretty deep. That's what I'm saying. Like this, dude. Oh man, it gets pretty big. There's like 7 or 8 people on top of him at one point.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's just great. I mean, come on. That's the best part about this thing. I was showing my wife, because check out our Instagram feed at TCE on SGPN. Like I was just going to my wife because my explaining. I was like, look at this. There's nothing better than just this happiness. You go one by one all across the United States, whether it's St. Mary's, whether it's whoever, right? And you're just seeing just absolute bliss from these people. Yeah. It's fantastic.
But also, Colby, you and I, in a sick and twisted way, we enjoy sports misery too.
Oh, that's actually what I root for most.
Look at the other dugout. They're all distraught.
100%. 100%. Sports misery is the greatest thing to root for. Like as an ECU fan, you just knew like for especially like football or something, like it was so hard to get to the national championship. We went to a Peach Bowl and we had to be damn near perfect. So it's like it teaches you to root for just sports misery. And unfortunately, that sports misery did not pay off with NC State getting in the field. What the fuck is that, by the way, guys? I'm sitting there, I'm dancing when they lose at the ACC tournament the other night, and I'm like, oh, stick a fork in them, right? But they didn't. What's that?
Their head coach announcing his retirement right after they lost, that this was going to be his last season.
And he had been screwed over. Look, I hate NC State more than anybody. He had been screwed over historically so they owed him that one.
Yeah,
he played his cards. I think he had to retire right then for them to make the field.
Correct.
So he played his cards right. Shout out to Danny Dumbshit giving us $50, $1 for every ECU fan arrested by wine and cheese. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna need more than that, I think, though, Danny. But
I think Elliot Avents, like the teams that we're referencing that have been left out on the outside of the bubble, that could have gotten in, were better than this year's team technically. Like he pulled that card because he didn't have another year on his contract, and every extension that he's received was through the contract. Him and Boo Corrigan, the AD, not necessarily on the greatest of terms. So they kind of knew that this was his last year. So yeah, they waited till the perfect time, and then pulled that move, and they're in the NCAA tournament.
I hate to stick up for NC State, but at the same time, Boo Corrigan did such a great job with his Will Wade hire. I can understand why he's maybe at odds with their athletic director. But look, also my fucking Long Island Sharks, baby. I watched the NEC championship.
All I know is we're hard-working, tax-paying people like you, and we don't take shit from nobody. You got that, asshole? Ask me. The fucking union that works for you.
How about the fucking Sharks dancing? I mean, that if that ain't beautiful, I don't know what the fuck is, man. I mean, just all across the nation, NC State got a little love. Look, is there another school that stands out to you where you say they got no business being in the field, or they got the horseshoe up their ass, or maybe, the downside of college sports historically is there's always a little corruption. There's always a little Don King to college athletics. Is there one, Noah, that just stands out?
Colby, our cat has 9 lives, and our cat is the Wildcats of Kentucky. They have no business being in this field this year in the NCAA tournament. They notoriously just won 2 of their 10 SEC series. Didn't really schedule great in the non-conference, but they tallied 13 SEC wins compared to the 18 SEC losses, and it was good enough to have an RPI that was on the right side of the bubble to where, I don't know how seriously they were even looked at to be, out of the field. I legitimately think that the entire society of college baseball has accepted the fact that if you could just get 13 SEC wins, you're automatically an NCAA tournament team, which I just vehemently deny that should be regular practice. But it just seems like it is, and it's getting really tired fighting it every single year. So Kentucky, it has to be that team for me. But yeah, hey, my 45 to 1 preseason ticket on them to win it all, and 650 to 1, plus 650 to get to Omaha. Still alive. Terrible
it's
CLV,
alive,
but
baby.
still alive.
JP, besides Kentucky, which I served that up perfect for him. Deer in a cage right there. Easy kill. Did I or is there another one that just jumped out to you besides NC State and Kentucky?
I think there are some, I have more of an argument for teams that I feel like should have been in. Kentucky is the one that stands out as far as I don't know if they deserved it. For me, it's like I totally agree. I think the SEC is the best conference every year. Their RPI was great, but they also won 31 games this year. And we have teams that won 45 that did not get put in. And I just think, yes, RPI is a good measurement of who the teams play, how their opponents do. But I think you also have to value and kind of reward winning and success at a certain point. So, I can't say, I guess I don't know if I had Troy in. I don't know if I had Texas State in. I personally would have liked to see Mercer or UTSA in there. But I can't say I have like a strong argument against Troy or Texas State getting in.
Yeah. This year, I didn't fill out a field of a bracketology projection that I thought was going to happen. I knew if I did that, I would have not had a great year. Of the 64 that I thought were worthy and deserving, I would have missed 2. Personally, I would have left Texas State and Kentucky out, and I would have included Mercer, and I would have included TCU.
Yeah, I mean, look, UTSA kind of stood out to me. I've kind of watched them because ECU's in the American. I thought UTSA. I mean, the American set up where you don't get that third game, which is tricky. I've been on both. I've been on both sides of that as an ECU fan. It's horseshit in my opinion to a certain extent, but I also understand the logic. Yeah, I also understand the logic though in them doing it. So like, it's a little bit of both. But I mean, this is a team that has been pretty fire all year long. I watched them destroy Coastal Carolina. A game. I've just seen them really kind of take Texas to the edge. So I think they're a legit team that could be a real X factor in this field had they got in. And I know everyone's talking about our boys out of the SoCon there that as the team that really got robbed, and rightfully so. I just haven't been watching as much of them there, Mercer, as UTSA, but obviously that record to me, like, it's almost like I say in college basketball, because with the portal these days, you never know what the hell one team's going to look like. So scheduling is complete. Like, you might, like, unless you're in a power conference where you just know you're going to have the like in mid-major teams, you might as well just fucking just blindfold yourself and throw a fucking dart. You know what I mean? Like, that's essentially what it is these days. I feel like, so I think like you win 40 fucking games, you should be in. Is that crazy? Is that crazy?
No, not crazy at all. You look at 2 or 3 years ago, Charleston was another 40+ win team that had good enough metrics to get in. But like this year was a real special case of like fuckery. I want to say, Mercer top 30 RPI. This is the first time in NCAA baseball tournament history where a top 30 RPI team with a winning record, because there's been SEC teams that have losing records that get a top 30 RPI but get left out of the tournament. Winning record, top 30 RPI, first time ever in history that team has been left out of the NCAA tournament. And it's not like the SoCon was a bad league this year. They had 3 teams kind of hovering around that bubble. They were the 7th ranked RPI conference this year. And when you go by RPI, it's not just that one static number. Like, the quad records are factored into the RPI. The strength of schedule is factored into the RPI. The non-conference strength of schedule is factored into the RPI. When the committee chairman goes on to the ESPN broadcast and he explains the reason why Mercer was left out of the field was because of their non-conference strength of schedule.
I heard him say that.
Honestly,
buffoon.
Mercer should get more credit for having a good RPI with that terrible schedule, because they're not getting the 30 chances to boost the RPI against SEC, ACC competition. The fact that like you tell all of these schools every single year that RPI is king, that's the number that matters the most, and then you have a 28th ranked RPI team, it just really feels like you pulled the rug out on a lot of mid-majors, a lot of the normal programs to have a chance and feel like there is, an invitation or a ticket to the big dance. It just kind of feels closed out. JP, did I do a good enough job summarizing that?
Yeah, and I think it's just tough when, like, looking at all the metrics, Kentucky got in because of their RPI, right? And then, like, Mercer, you're just going to ignore the fact that their RPI is 28, better than Kentucky's. So I think it's just like, if you're going to, you got to be consistent with the way that, and I get it. Like, does Kentucky have a better chance of winning a regional? Absolutely. Like, that's not my argument. But I just think teams should be rewarded for having great seasons and get a shot, and not reward a 30-20, slightly above 500 team.
Yeah, I mean, at what point does 44 wins speak? I feel like that's the big thing. And yes, by the way, I saw someone say Peter in the chat said Mercer win it. Mercer did beat Wofford in the SoCon tournament.
Yeah.
Shout out to Weehawk, who's a SoCon guy. They got screwed. Yeah, a dumbass explanation there, and I agree with you, man. I agree. Like, at least they're consistent, because I feel like football and basketball drive so much of the money that it seems so corrupt there. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, baseball's starting to really make. I feel like the sport is starting to kind of explode a little bit, but it's to me. Can we? Same in college basketball. I just feel like. At what point do you just say you won this many games, you should just be in the field? Because no one knows what these teams are going to look like, especially until we clamp the portal to a one-time transfer or something. Like, I can tell you this: I've covered these sports for like 10 years, and I have no idea. Like, unless you're a service academy, it's very hard to break down your mid majors when there's like 98% new roster.
Yeah. And that's the toughest thing is like this Mercer offense was really legit. Like top 5 homers, statistically really good all the way around. There's like already 6 or 7 guys that probably have DMs or calls trying to tamper with them and get them into the transfer portal. That way they can have, be on the power conference rosters for the next season.
But 5-6 years ago, you could actually kind of like, you knew who was kind of good. We were talking pre-episode about Tulane, right? Mid-major that traditionally kind of does damage in the American tournament. They didn't even make the tournament for whatever reasons. But my point is like, imagine you go out and schedule Tulane. You think that's a good non-con game.
4
right?
of last year's Omaha 8 teams did not make the tournament this year.
Exactly.
Louisville, Murray State, LSU.
So imagine that's why like I feel like they should. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like they should just have a quota because it's so hard to project who is going to be good. So like this is a sport with 300 teams. You know what I mean? Like this is a sport where you have to figure stuff out. Where it's like, okay, like how are you supposed to schedule? Say if you're Mercer. All right, how are you supposed to know who is good next year? That's the problem. And I feel like a lot of people will just say, well, they should have scheduled better. Well, that's just a fucking hope and a dream. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, hopefully, Wright State's as good as they normally are, right? Or whoever, you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like that's something that across all of college sports is very, very, and I know it because Bieniek, you know it, and I know you do too. As well, JP, like you have when you go to do the previews, I'm like talking. I remember like doing Oregon State's preview. I was like, man, I got no fucking idea. They got fucking a brand new roster, right? Yeah. Like, what are we supposed to? How do you schedule? What's the correct way to do that? Is what I'm getting across here.
Yeah, and the toughest thing about it is you're scheduling 2 years out. So from talking with assistant coaches, like I've learned a little bit more about this process over the last year and a half or so. It's just, it's really tough. Like, I know specifically like a Vanderbilt example, and this is the reason why they're not in the tournament this year, is like they put a lot of their eggs into the basket of this weekend. First off, the Shriners Children's, which I'm wearing the shirt of, the 6 teams that were there, only 3 are in the tournament, and they played Texas Tech and TCU, and both are not tournament teams. And that was 3 of their neutral site games, which typically do well for the RPI. It's the same way as college basketball, Colby. They like to play these neutral site games. That way they can game it a little bit. And then the other one was they played in Las Vegas. 3 teams that they played there were Oregon, which is a host, and then UC Irvine and Arizona. Both of those teams missed the NCAA tournament. But like if you look at all 4 of those teams that missed the NCAA tournament didn't necessarily have a great year. 2 years ago, you were thinking these are all great baseball programs. This is not a terrible schedule, and then we have some cupcake weekends at home that we should be able to win and take care of. But like the problem is they lost a couple of those games to the non-tournament teams and dug themselves such a hole that they couldn't get out of.
It you know what it is though, man, is it's like you're using a system for yesteryear.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
RPI
Like you're
was
using
built
a
for basketball.
Or not even that, but I'm just saying you're using it for yesteryear. The sport, all of college athletics has drastically changed more than ever, probably, right? In all of its existence. So it's like there should be a metric where it just says you win this many fucking games, you're in.
It's called a record.
Yeah, it's this thing called a record. You can go to the website and see it every time there's a game played.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, I know we got to get into it. Anything else you want to say? I don't know. I mean, JP, any ideas on how to schedule non-con if you're a mid-major?
I mean, not really. Like, I feel like UTSA, I mean, they play strong midweeks and they went on the road and played Coastal Carolina and Ole Miss and some other teams in that Bruce Bolt. No, I don't have the answer. Because at a certain point, like, I think if Mercer schedules some harder games and loses, like, yes, was their strength of schedule better? Yeah, but when they have 35 wins, you're going to say that they didn't win enough games. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's tricky.
Yeah, I just think they have to update the module. All right, folks. Before we jump into going region by region here, I want to let you know that the college baseball experience is brought to you by us. Check out our merch store. We're having a sale from now until the 4th of July. Yes, use the promo code. This is a great promo code. Although I feel like sometimes people don't like it anymore. But this promo code, we're 100% behind over at SGPN. It is this awesome thing called USA. Holy shit. 25% off everything in our store at store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. We love USA. We're also brought to you by Brocco. Yes, Brocco Sportsbook and Casino is a ton of fun. There's a bunch of great ways to get in on the action as they got you covered for all the major sports, offering over 100,000 sports markets a month. And Brocco's available in a ton of different states as well. Look, there's a reason why I push off the show on Wednesday, because Wednesdays are for blackjack, and I'm a DGen. So look, blackjack on Wednesdays over at Brocco, 50% off your losses back at you. Jump over there. Depositing, withdrawing, super easy. Money in, money out, lightning fast. Bank, Apple Pay, crypto, it doesn't matter. Get a free $5 and a purchase match up to $100 at Brocco using our promo code SGPN. That's Brocco, BRACCO, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. I love Underdog Fantasy. I'm not saying that just because they're paying us to say this. I really think they're better than almost everything. Like, if you haven't checked out Underdog, like college baseball, they got you covered. Everything they got you covered.
Player
right?
projections.
Yes. I mean, there's so much cool stuff over there. I mean, I probably made $1,000 off Canadian football last year. That's what I'm saying. Like, they go deep. All right. Underdog's got you. Their payouts are incredible. 2-pick entries now 3.5 times. 3-pick entries now at 6.5 times. And Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers as well. Play $5, get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code. That is TCESGPN. So do that and let it ride. All right. Shout out to these fire graphics, man. This is provided by the NCAA.
Did really good. They cooked this year.
A lot better than the conference tournaments.
Yeah. Well, they've been losing every lawsuit, so it's like, okay, let's focus on something we can win. The graphics. Look, let's go out to Los Angeles, my former home, Jackie Robinson Stadium there. UCLA, man, that UCLA Oregon game, fun. UCLA, Jackie Robinson Stadium there. They're going to be hosting St. Mary's, who back-to-back years won the WCC. Cal Poly, those Mustangs, love San Luis Obispo. That John Madden blood money is working out for the Mustangs there. And then Real Money Kramer's Hokies, who I caught live in Charlotte, going all the way to Los Angeles. Is Bieniek? I know we're using DK's numbers, by the way, folks. If you're wondering what the odds we're quoting there, they are at DK. But shop around. We highly encourage you to do that. UCLA is minus 900. Hokies plus 1,200. Cal Poly, the Mustangs plus 1,500. St. Mary's plus 2,200. All right, let me play devil's advocate. I know UCLA has been nasty all year long, but I also know the Big Ten is not known to be a baseball conference. Is there value, JP, in me just saying, fuck it, give me that John Madden $30 million donation he did to Cal Poly, and let's jump in? Or battle-tested Hokies in the ACC. Look, I saw the Hokies. They played tough. Any chance we could? Any chance there's some value here with the Big Ten being the Big Ten?
I would lean towards going Cal Poly, coming off that conference tournament win, beating UC Santa Barbara, just having a strong tournament in general, feeling really good about things right now. I'll be honest, like I see UCLA winning this thing. The thing about them is ever since that Oregon series, they have been, or really Michigan State. Honestly, when you saw them, Noah, like they
Honestly,
haven't been
Minnesota.
Yeah, they
further back.
Like they haven't been playing as dominant of baseball if you watch the games. Now, have they found a way to come back and win just about every single one of them? Yes. Like this team is inevitable. But as we've talked about, Noah, before in previous shows, like all it takes is to lose the first game in one of these formats, and it makes it really, really hard to come back and win the whole thing. So, I mean, yeah, you're getting great value as far as just any other team than UCLA winning a regional.
Yeah. Bieniek, your thoughts in Los Angeles there?
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of obnoxious prices, right? So, here's the thing. I don't think Virginia Tech is 2-seed quality. Now, I do like how it may have worked out this year. How they were doing it is they were ranking the 2 seeds from 17 to 32. So, in theory, the 1 seed is supposed to get like the 32nd ranked team. That matches the eye test. I don't think the Hokies are a super strong team this year. Granted, with that 7-13 quad 1 record just against the top competition, they haven't done well. And even if you look under the hood at a bunch of their ACC series, they lost every one against top quality competition. I don't think the 2 seed's the biggest threat here. UCLA, they have like 6 losses on the season. They're 51-6. 4 of the 6 are to in-state California mid-majors. So we've got Cal Poly and St. Mary's in the regional. I do think that it's one of these two. St. Mary's last year won game 1 against Oregon in their respective regional. So we've seen the WCC jump up and, bite. But I think Cal Poly is the biggest threat of the 3. And value is, a loose term, but 15-1, I think, is disrespectful for Cal Poly. When you play in the Big West, you value every out way more in that league compared to every other, mainly because the pitching is so lopsided in talent compared to the lineups. But this is a Cal Poly lineup that rates out across the board in that league as one of, if not the best. The only thing they don't do is hit for power, and they're not going to necessarily hit bombs. None of these teams are going to hit bombs at Jackie Robinson Stadium. It kind of plays as a little bit of a graveyard, especially at night. But Cal Poly manufactures runs in a multitude of ways, and they're used to seeing elite arms. Cal Poly is my pick at 15-1.
Yeah,
that's your best bet. That's your value bet in the Los Angeles regional.
All over it, man. I mean, I've watched a decent amount just because of the time difference of Cal Poly, and I know, I think they got swept by USC if memory serves me correct, but
they did.
Those games were kind of feisty though, man. I watched some of those. Those were like games late into those games. So like why not? Let's jump on that. You can't take minus 900. What the fuck are we talking about here?
They have good
ridiculous.
arms. You look at their number one in Griffin Ness, like he'll probably throw against Virginia Tech. He's a really steady arm, and he's been their Friday night guy for 3 straight years. More pitch to contact than anything, but all he does is win. And then Carson Turnquist has been like unbelievable, like high voltage arm. They've got a couple of high 90s arms out of the pen too. Like Cal Poly's legit on the mound, and they're one of the better Big West offenses. I do think that they're the threat. When you look at like a Nate Castiglione, who is one of their really good hitters this year and has been one of their top dogs, along with Dylan Kordick. So Cal Poly, I think that's your best look.
Let's go. All of us on the Mustangs, right, JP?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's jump over to the beautiful. I mean, shout out to Georgia Tech baseball, man. Had a great time with the dads of the Georgia Tech baseball team. Might have saw a photo on the IG or the Twitter of us just having a good old time. And shout out to Drew Burris, who hooked up White Tiger with an autograph.
Attaboy.
Yes, man. Hell of a guy. The Burris family. His dad was cool as fuck too. And shout out to Tailgate Report, of course. Atlanta, Georgia Tech hosting UIC. Those Flames. Don't put us in the Valley. We'll win the conference. And they proved it. And the Citadel. Oh, man. My guy Kevin from FCS Nation Radio. Big time Citadel guy. I mean, how about that Citadel run, guys? They hadn't been to the tournament in 16 years. 16 fucking years. That is what I'm talking about. That's why the sport's incredible. Watching the Citadel run through the SoCon was phenomenal. And then you got the Sooners there of Oklahoma. The odds over on DK there, as they do not go alphabetically here. So let me scroll. Georgia Tech minus 700, Oklahoma plus 750, the Citadel plus 1200, and UIC plus 9,000. Look, I don't think anyone's going to beat Georgia Tech, but if I had, to me, this one is a layup. You got to take Oklahoma plus 750, right? I feel like that's the one. Am I crazy, JP, for saying the Sooners would be the play at this spot?
No, I mean, I think that is the only play here. But with that being said, like, I would it might be crazy to say I would feel better about Cal Poly than Oklahoma here. Like, Oklahoma just hasn't been playing great baseball compared to a Cal Poly team that just won the tournament, and Georgia Tech just won their tournament. They're red hot.
I agree with you, actually. I think I'd rather play Cal Poly than Oklahoma.
Yeah, like Georgia Tech, it's just I'm convinced this team's going to Omaha, and
I'm convinced they're going to the national championship. The way I was watching them,
right? like their ballpark plays to their strengths too. Like they're going to be able to put up runs, and yeah, I mean, I think the only play would be Oklahoma, but I can't say I'd be confident. I think that might be a donation at this point.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you can't play the Jackets as much as I love the Jackets. Hell, I was just drinking, doing old fashions with them, but I was saying minus 700. I'm not playing that. You got to play Oklahoma. 750. Bieniek, are we on the same track?
I'm gonna disagree with you guys. I think Oklahoma's another week too, and it again makes sense. Number 2 overall seed. In theory, you're getting number 31, number 30, number 29, any which way they order that, because there is 3 SEC teams in the top 4, so it's not exactly perfect. You can't send Oklahoma, 2 SEC teams in the top 4. You can't send Oklahoma to Georgia or Auburn. So, but. I'm going to take you to.
Are you going to play the Citadel?
No, I'm taking you to Illinois, Chicago.
Oh my God!
So the Missouri Valley. Let me say this: the Missouri Valley since 2021 in the regional round is 17-9. 17-9. This may be more of like a game-to-game look, because I don't really believe in Oklahoma to be, a regional contender in any means, and Citadel has kind of just gotten rolling lately. They just could not, hit the baseball into the other team's glove in Greenville in the SoCon tournament. There was not a whole lot of power there, but they just kept tallying runs. This UIC team from the beginning of April on, has been on a tear. They won the Missouri Valley, by 2 games, and this is a good mid-major league every single year. I know the record is gaudy, the metrics are bloated, but I'm just gonna trust the league. Give me the 90-1 on the Flames.
This fucking Midwesterner just jumps in here, just trying to jump on a Midwestern team here.
I think it's Georgia Tech's winning the regional, but your best price, your value bet, the best bet here is UIC in the Atlanta regional.
Wow, plus 9,000. I think I would take the Citadel. I'm with Vegas. I'll take the Citadel before I take it.
I might lay 700 before I do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you guys this record here. They are 5. They
27 and 27.
No, so they since April 2nd, they are 21 and 12. UIC.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Georgia Tech's 48 and 9.
I mean, this is a long shot.
And
I will say this was the other logic behind this. Georgia Tech lost a game to the Missouri Valley team last year. Murray State beat Georgia Tech, eliminated them from that Oxford regional last year. So it's the same group, the same core group of players from the Yellow Jackets team last year. Give me the Valley. Let's go.
Wow. That's a hot take over here. Shout out to Bama 1, by the way.
It's 90-1.
That is a hot fucking take. Shout out to Bama 1 saying, "Hey Colby, when are you starting your college football preview series?" Soon, this next week. And I'll go ahead and announce this now, since it's America's 250th year on planet Earth. We're gonna open up with Army, Navy, and Air Force to honor the great service academies that are responsible for our stupid freedoms that like me talking
that
into a
allow
microphone.
us to piss money down the toilet on a 90-1.
Yeah, exactly. What I was going to say right there. You're like Noah's UIC play. But no, so soon this week, this next 10 days, all three will be out there. I was working on Army and Air Force today for 7 hours. So let's go. Next up. And by the way, we preview, if you're just tuning into baseball, we preview all 138 college football teams in the FBS, basically an hour to every single team in the land. So, and we have the FCS as well. So let's jump over to Athens though, because them dogs could have swore maybe the booze is taking effect. I think I was higher on them than you guys in the preseason episode.
I know you were probably higher than me because I was low on the dogs.
I just doubted the pitching once again, and they've proved me wrong all year.
I doubted the throw shit at the wall transfer portal technique, and it all stuck this year. So, shout out to Georgia. They proved me wrong. I ate a lot of shit.
They had a money season, unbelievable run there in the SEC tournament as well, and the fucking Long Island Sharks are in this regional. Rest in peace, Georgia. The Flaming Libs of Liberty are also in this. Man, they're getting all my school. Boston College, they made it. It dawned on me as I was watching
ACC win.
I know, but I was watching them. So I'm watching Boston College in the ACC tournament, score 2 runs in the first inning and never score again. And I say, it dawns on me that this was the 4th time I had caught them in baseball this season. And I also went to a basketball game. Yes.
Really?
So I said, why? Why do I always watch Boston College baseball? Something's wrong with me. But hey, they're a 2 seed in the Georgia Regional. The joke's on Dundee. The odds over on DK in the great city of Athens, Georgia. Georgia minus 370. The Flaming Libs of Liberty, who lost in the championship game, plus 550. Sometimes it's good to get that loss out of the way. Boston College, the Golden Eagles, plus 700. And the fucking Long Island Sharks, baby, plus 5,500. Wow. I mean, you know what I'm doing, baby. Fucking Peter Luger's drinks on me. Sharks plus 5,500. NEC till I die, baby. I can't take Boston College. I can't do it. Now, let me ask you guys this. Is 370? I know that's like, normally you just look at that. Anything like past 2, you're like, I'm not touching that shit. But I look at this field here, I say, do I really play a minus 370?
No, I don't think you play a minus 370, but what I was just asking Noah, like if you're able, depending on what app you're on or what site you're using, if you're able to parlay some of these, I do think that Georgia, I like the price of Georgia winning this regional at minus 370. And if I can find somewhere where I can parlay maybe 3 of them together, this would probably be one of my plays.
And you know why? As much as I love my Long Island Sharks, you know why? Because I searched for their video of, I was watching them live win the NEC. And these piles of shit there in Brooklyn, New York, don't even have a baseball Twitter page. I went to their athletic department's page. Let me tell you something. They haven't posted something in months. You fucking piles of shit. You got your own students. They have Instagram, of course. Did they update that? I mean, it's a different. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's this thing called Twitter. You might want to try it out.
Yeah, Colby, you know how anti-Instagram, or like just the fact that like the social media strategy for TCU is like, get a good platform first instead of spraying everything on all of these platforms.
They have a good platform on Twitter,
and then build out. Oh, I don't know about IG. I'm just like, maybe that's their thing. But with 11.7, I do run a little bit of our Instagram, so I do know that they have an Instagram account.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because as someone that was searching for their video to help spread their fucking university, I couldn't on Twitter. I go, dude, who are these hacks running their fucking website? They haven't, no one's updated anything in months. Right. So as much as I want to take my fucking Sharks and go down to Peter Luger's and have a few cocktails and have a party when we knock off them fucking dogs, I can't. I think Georgia's the play. I'm not jumping on the Flaming Libs. I'm not jumping off BC. Make fun of me for a minus 360 all you want. All right. I'm not actually personally betting this, but I'm saying on Georgia. But if you're going to talk me into right now, I'll sprinkle some money on the Flaming Libs. I like the fact they lost the championship game. Sometimes that's a good gut check. You know, they got that foul well jerk off in the corner money, right? So, I mean, why not the Flaming Libs, Bieniek?
I think Liberty is a quality team. Their pitching staff is very, very good for a mid-major. The issue is I just don't believe they hit enough, or well enough, I should say. And in this regional at Foley Field, the park plays so offensively. It should help them, but I don't think it's, Georgia good help them. In order to knock off Georgia in their regional at home, you have to be putting up 8 runs, 9 runs consistently. And I don't see Liberty doing that enough. And when you look at last year, like Georgia, they got knocked off in their home regional. Both Duke and Oklahoma State were taking advantage of the short porch in right field and launching some balls into the trees there at Foley. None of these 3 teams are necessarily going to do that. So I don't want to paint the picture of me feeling confident in any of these 3. JP had a good shout on the parlay piece of Georgia. I think if you're looking for a single team in this regional, I don't recommend ever minus 370. I will point you to, Colby, you're gonna hate this, but it's Boston College at plus 700. I want you to so this 11.7 graphic that we've created. This is all Dimitri's birth child, by the way. He did outstanding job. Kind of putting all these together. Boston College is elite at running the base pass. Now, Daniel Jackson is the catcher for Georgia, and he's done a really good job at limiting opposing teams' running game. But this is a Georgia pitching staff that is a power pitching staff, and how they limit the run game on the mound specifically, I don't believe it's good enough. And I do think that Boston College should be able to take advantage of this a little bit, to where they're going to be able to play a little bit of the small ball game. Do I think they're going to put up 8, 9, 10 runs a game? No. I think Georgia wins this regional, but BC 700 might be worth a sprinkle, but that's all I got.
I mean, I'll say this. I was at the 2 games in Chapel Hill. They played 3 games. I think they won the first one. They should have, if not for errors, like they could have swept North Carolina. They really could have swept North Carolina. Yeah. I caught them in Raleigh. They got destroyed by NC State in the game, but like the games against Carolina, they probably specifically won. They probably should have won. The other one was kind of anyone's game, but they had just these epic meltdowns in like the 9th and 10th innings, I think. Or I can't remember if it went to extra innings or not, but it was late in the game. They had these meltdowns. So in that regard, you're probably right. I just know BC is BC. So I just, not since Doug Flutie have they been fucking really relevant. So, but I don't know. What do you think, JP?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, like, BC, when you think about a regional in Athens, Oklahoma State won the Athens regional last year, right?
Duke did.
Duke. Yeah.
OK State was in the championship, though, no?
Yes. Regional.
So when you think about, like, the teams that have had success there in the past, they're all offensive. And to me, like, Liberty, I just think more of a pitching staff, more of a pitching and defense style of team. And you have to go with the offensive team. And the most offensive team other than Georgia in this regional is definitely BC. Yeah. So I do think, considering they are plus 700 and Liberty's plus 500, like I do think that is the play here if you're looking for value.
And both Duke and Oklahoma State left-handed slugging to take advantage of that right field at Foley. Both of them did it.
Yeah.
I mean, but my Shocks have the most conference wins out of any of these bozos.
Statistically, right? LIU looks like they can compete. Now, it is an SEC double champ. Like, I don't know. Like, the NEC also statistically was by far the worst conference in the country this year. So, like, all of the stolen bases.
Hey, they have more stolen bases than anybody and the most runs per game.
Yeah. Statistically, on this graphic, it makes the Sharks look great, but I don't know, man. I don't know how live they are.
The data doesn't lie, baby. All right? Run your numbers. My numbers tell me they're fucking fantastic in all ballparks. All right, are we done with the beautiful Athens regional? By the way, as an ECU fan, I was terrified. I was looking as I was at the ACC tournament, and me and Tailgate Report were like, we kept refreshing the projections from like 4 different websites. Right, we're like looking at like, oh, okay. ECU was originally going to Atlanta in like a couple of them. I'm so relieved that we're not going to Atlanta. Take on the Rambling Wreck, but when I see this, but when I see Athens, I go, hell, could have threw us a bone here. Could have threw us a bone. I can see us getting that. All right, let's jump over to the next team here, or the next regional. That is the Auburn Tigers. They're Plainsman Park. I was talking to an Auburn fan at the ACC tournament. He hated Diego Pavia, and I laughed. I laughed because Diego Pavia, he beat him when he was in New Mexico State. So maybe baseball is your sport. Look, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he just pissed all over your fucking program multiple times. All right. But Auburn is hosting. Oh, don't let him in. Do not let these Panthers get hot. These Milwaukee Panthers. What was great about the Milwaukee video of them, upsetting Wright State and winning the Horizon? They didn't. It looked like they were new to celebration. That was the one video where it was like, he's telling his team like, no, get out of the way. Right. As I got to touch home plate. But all of it looked like new, like they had not done this all year.
That's
and
what
then
happens
you got
when you're in the same conference as Wright State. They just win that league so often, you know?
Yeah, it's like, guys, we should jump on 3. Be excited on 3. The Pussy Pack of NC State and UCF there, JP's favorite squad, jumping in and making the Auburn regional there. Auburn is minus 265. UCF plus 475. The Pussy Pack of NC State plus 475. And Milwaukee, as Alice Cooper said in Wayne's World, plus 12,000. Tragic magic, dude. I hate saying this, but I gotta play. I love how you have Abilene Christian's logo as NC State. That's a good job. Pussy Pack. There you go. Right. See, NC State, we don't take you serious ever. All right. Now saying all that, give me NC State. It's tragic magic. They're playing for coach. This is the Rudiger element here. And when they watch this show and they see we have Abilene Christian as their logo, they're going to be even more offended. JP, I know you're a huge fan of UCF and how they're such kind players historically. Is there any value in taking UCF down there? Because I mean, the Milwaukee Panthers, if it looks like you don't know how to celebrate, I can't even take you seriously in this thing. UCF, is there any value on UCF, or what are you doing here, man?
No, I don't think there's much. Like, UCF is a team that for me, like 2 years in a row, has continued to trend down as the season goes on. And I just don't see them making any sort of noise here. Again, this is another one where I feel like minus 265 for Auburn is honestly disrespectful. But as far as a value play, I think you got to go with NC State playing for their coach retiring. It's a team that was pretty high up in the rankings early on in the year, had some success, has shown it in flashes. But again, I seriously think that Auburn got a very favorable draw here.
Yeah,
I'm in agreement.
Look, I mean, I hate taking the Pussy Pack ever, but if you're going to take anything, it's got to be them besides Auburn, right? Bieniek, am I crazy?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys. I do think personally, I really like Auburn's team this year. I think they're a really complete bunch. Their pitching staff withstood the test of 30 games in the SEC, and they're a lead on the mound the entire weekend rotation, sub 315 ERA. It's incredible. And they do just enough offensively. It's not like an offense that's going to blow you away. But I do think they are head and shoulders above and better than all 3 teams in this regional. And again, value is a relative thing. I'm not running to the window to bet plus 475 NC State and calling it value. I do think you're more paying face value. If anything, I just don't know if it's even a good price. I think that Auburn minus 265 is relatively cheap for a parlay piece. The thing with NC State, the good thing is they're getting their ace back. Reportedly, Ryan Marone has missed the last couple of weeks due to injury, and he will return. The only thing on my mind, Gene, was pussy.
I'm sorry.
So
continue.
And they've got good sticks. Their offense has been able to bang the ball around the yard, and I do think that they have a relative edge where their offense could be labeled as better than the Tigers. NC State was in this regional last year playing at Auburn. They know the park. It's not a bad bet. Do I love the price? No, but they're probably my pick.
I do want to point out, too, like Auburn has slowly the past 3-4 years with the renovations and some just honestly just more fan support in general. This has started to be one of the top venues in all of college baseball. So I also think it's going to be a fairly hostile environment there this weekend.
Yeah. They do college sports right. Their fans are fucking awesome. Let's jump over to Chapel Hill, Bosch Hammer Stadium. Like I said, if you look closely in that photo right there, youtube.com/the college experience, in the far left-hand corner, you will see me huffing paint. We are going to be doing that, right? Whippets, everything. We will be like, I'm telling you, they don't know. They're asking. Last time I've been to Chapel Hill like 5 times this year. Last time someone asked me, I shit you not, Bieniek. Someone asked me if I was drinking Chardonnay at a baseball game. They thought I was going to do that. Chapel Hill, home of the Tar Heels. They're minus 200. You can't play that. The Vols plus 350. GBO Farms. He believes, right? But we believe in ECU at plus 600, and then VCU at plus 1700. Shout out to the Rams, as I'm not. I'll do that for you. Guys, this is a smash play. East Carolina, Cliff Godwin. He's fucked multiple women on that field before. And the ECU is just, we're not coming to Chapel Hill. Fucking lose. All right. The town is full of weaklings. So, I mean, we're going to run through everything there. Tennessee fans will put up a good fight. GBO Farms might call out of work and come out, but we'll still put it on those bozos. All right. And plus 600 is a smash play. We set out. Wait for the sax. Yeah, so I think it's a smash play on ECU, but if not that, look, GBO, if you're asking me to pick another team, I would take your Vols because I can't take these Tar Heels. I mean, there's like we talked about in the pre episode, like ECU and Tennessee are going to roll deep. Even VCU, I don't know their baseball culture, but I know ECU and Tennessee will roll deep. And those type of fans, I also think they might. I don't know how they're going to cook these books. They're going to have to keep some of this riffraff out. In my opinion, I really believe that. I don't know how they're going to do this. They're going to like the pre-tickets or something, the pre-sale tickets. They're going to do something to cook the books away from these Pirate fans and these Vol fans. But I'm all over these ECU Pirates. JP, why do you believe ECU is the best team in the nation?
I will, before I start, I will say, I know I brought it up last night on the show as far as like regional projections and what regional I see the most beers being consumed at. This is my new front runner as far as from what we've covered. And honestly, it has nothing to do with the host. It has everything to do with Tennessee and East Carolina. But getting into baseball, East Carolina, if there is one host I feel good about them playing and beating, it's North Carolina, just because they play each other so damn much and they know each other. And it's that type of rivalry and familiarity where you can kind of throw numbers and everything out the window and it's going to be a dogfight. With that being said, they have to get past Tennessee. And Tennessee is, I think, one of the scarier 2 seeds. Teams, like it's just one of those that you do not want to see in your regional. So yeah, I think North Carolina got kind of hosed here. This is a very tough regional for them, and this is one that even at our best price yet, minus 205, I would not be touching North Carolina in this. Tennessee plus 350, I don't know if that's enough. Like East Carolina, I think would be my play, but. Yeah, I'll let Noah go.
I'm in agreement again with your statement on North Carolina. I do think being the number 5 overall seed this doesn't necessarily match up with hypothetically being a bottom half regional in strength. This is, I think, one of your top 3 or top 4 strong regionals of the 16 that we see. This North Carolina team has the ingredients of like one of my favorite identities. It is an old, experienced offense, and the weekend rotation is great with Jason DeCaro, Ryan Lynch, and Folger Boaz. And I really like the bullpen. Minus 200 with Tennessee and East Carolina kind of creeping around in your backyard is not something that I love. Where I'm going to point everybody to is Tennessee at plus 350. I hate to do it to Colby there, but I do think that Tennessee, their defense has been very, very good this year. Pitching staff has kind of been coming along lately. Tegan Coons has really kind of excelled and stepped up his level of play. And I do think that Landon Mack creates like the bookend of a weekend rotation that can compete with UNC in the specific weekend. Can they beat Ethan Norby on Friday night? It's a tough task, and plus 350 is still not, again, similar to NC State. I wouldn't call it value. It's more of face value, but I think that's your best play in this regional. I think they've got a little bit of better pitching depth than ECU to last longer against North Carolina if this thing goes 6 or 7 games this weekend in Chapel Hill.
Well, that was filthy, but I will say this is that Tennessee and ECU are like, there's no way you can take Carolina, right? I mean, Tennessee and ECU makes so much more sense, right? Like just the odds on there. ECU, if you did not know, played Carolina and they went 1-1-1. The third game was called at the Durham Bulls Park. It was a frustrating game, in my opinion, because they got a couple of runs right before the rain came down.
That third one was in Chapel Hill.
The third one, that's right. Second one was in, or no, the first one was in.
First one was at East Carolina.
And you got
Caro shoved.
Okay.
Second one, they kicked their ass at the Durham Bulls Park, and then the third one, they were winning in Chapel Hill.
And then there was a tie.
And then the rain came. I still that was a phony forfeit there. But I mean, make a case for why we should play Carolina. One of you two. Like not we, but why should, if like shout out to Jay North in the chat. Jay North is kicking ass. He's a Carolina fan.
Your way of playing Carolina, I'll pull up the odds here. It is not, do not play them to win the regional. You're looking longer throughout the NCAA tournament here. If you don't have a ticket on them to win it all, which I don't know if JP was on that in the preseason, but that was one of the teams that I gave out. I think it was 22-1. You can get North Carolina at plus 110 to get to Omaha. And DraftKings currently does not have their national championship odds posted, but I would expect Carolina 12-1, somewhere in that range. I don't know exactly where they're at. I'll find that though. That's what I would advise on the Tar Heels. I think they're a good enough team to be able to do damage in Omaha.
Yeah. Anyone go and hit me up. So I'll be there both days. And I think NC Nick's gonna come on Saturday. Not Omaha. Not Omaha. As much as look, I think I have
14-1 on FanDuel for North Carolina to win it all.
Where is this clip here? Damn it. Ruining the comedic timing on this.
Hell, I even thought I was dead. Till I found out it was just that I was in Nebraska.
All right. Next up we have,
shout out Jay North, by the way. North Carolina fan.
Yeah, he's a big Heels fan. That's what I'm saying. So I was trying to make the case on why we should take his Heels. Look, before we get to the next regional, I want to let the good folks know that the college baseball experience is brought to you by Kalshi. Kalshi is a real money prediction market, legal in a ton of different states, and Kalshi has a ton of trading options for your favorite sports. Look, new Kalshi customers get $10 when you use the promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, 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 promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is your official data tool for dominating the NBA playoffs, MLB, WNBA, and golf. Let Rhythm's models help you cash in, or you can build your own and dominate these books. I always like building my own too. Sometimes I'll lay back if I don't know the sport really well, but if you know the sport, build your own. Get your free 7-day trial period today. Looking to go premium? Use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm. That's RITHMM. Promo code SGPN25. All right, we are back. Shout out to GBO Farms who says he's going to bed. Just wanted to talk some shit. How about instead of going to bed,
stayed
you
up
book your
just for the
fucking
5.
flight. Book your flight to Chapel Hill, buddy. All right.
He stayed up just for the 5th regional, just to hear us talk about Tennessee.
Actually, you don't even need the flight. What is Knoxville to Chapel Hill drive time? That's what, 5-6 hours at most, right?
Yeah, probably.
Be.
That's why they probably slotted him in Chapel Hill. It's within a 500 mile
Come
driving
on out,
range.
buddy. Come on out. Let's jump over to Austin, Texas, where these Horns are hosting a team that I watched live last year in the regional. They're back. The Holy Cross Crusaders. All right. How about Tarleton State? I think I heard that this was their first ever. Is that accurate?
Yes, first ever as a D1 pro. Like they just came up from D2. They were good in D2. Now D1, first ever. They actually won the WAC tournament in 24, but were on probation.
Probation just for entering D1, or probation just like something Texas does every day, probably.
No, just the transition rule.
And then UC Santa Barbara there, man, this is kind of a fun one because you got little brother extremely deep down the list of brothers in Tarleton State.
And West.
Yeah. Look, so Texas minus 700, UC Santa Barbara plus 650, Tarleton State plus 1400, fucking Holy Cross. Ask what you can do for your countrymen, plus 900. I'm all over the Gauchos if I got to look. There's no way I can play Texas in anything because I hate them. But I will take Santa Barbara here. I mean, you're not going to play a bet minus 700. Santa Barbara plus 650 is the only thing with a pulse, in my opinion. Is there a shot for Tarleton, guys? JP, what are you doing here?
No, I'm with you in the fact that I think UC Santa Barbara is the only possible chance here. And I do think it's worth a shot. Like, this Texas team is a team that lost their regional last year to UTSA. So it's like you have that added pressure a little bit this following year. And this is one of those, like, I know last night I said that UC Santa Barbara was not good enough to not throw Jackson Flora in game 1. And this is one where I question if they're going to have the balls to throw off game 1. And then you're looking at Jackson Flora, the best pitcher in the country, going up against Texas in that 1-0 game. And then anything can happen. So do I think they're going to do that? Probably not. I just don't think the offense has been good enough to do that. But if they were to – but, like, this whole Santa Barbara staff is talented. And you've seen the Texas offense go quiet at times. So I do think, like – there's a chance. I think the minus 700 on this one is honestly, like, I don't know.
And folks, Jackson Flora is projected a top 5 pick in the MLB draft for this this summer. So that is what he's referring to there with the Gauchos of UC Santa Barbara.
11-0, 105 ERA, 124 strikeouts in 94.1 innings. He's the best arm in the upcoming MLB draft. And he pitches for UC Santa Barbara. On the 11.7 podcast, we do superlatives, and one of them is a top 8 seed not to advance. So basically who's not going to win their regional. And I mentioned that because Texas was my pick. I like both the mid-majors here, UCSB and Tarleton. Here's why. JP was hitting at it a little bit with the Gauchos. elite pitching staff. Elite. I legitimately think there's 6 to 8 MLB arms on this pitching staff. They could throw Jackson Flora game 1 because I do think Tarleton's offense is very good. The WAC is an underrated league, and they can swing it. So I don't advise Barbara to throw off because, quite frankly, their offense blows. So Jackson Flora, I'm expecting to throw game 1. If they go Kellen Montgomery, who's been their second best arm, he's really steady, very consistent, been a Big West starting pitcher for 4 years. He's a graduate senior transfer from Long Beach State. Texas has seen arms like Kellen Montgomery. He's nothing elite. He's low 90s, kind of a pitchability arm. Nathan Aceves is the next Jackson Flora, Tyler Bremner, like keep going. UCSB's been known to be a little bit of a mid-major pitching factory over the last couple of years. I think Aceves could shove it up Texas. You know what? And the Longhorns offensively are dealing with a handful of injuries. Casey Borba's been dealing with something the last couple of weeks. Adrian Rodriguez has a wrist issue. Ethan Mendoza's got a shoulder injury that he's been nursing. And that's 3 of their top 5 hitters. And this is a Texas lineup 1 through 9, not very strong, but that 1 through 6 has been great. There's a little bit of holes that we can poke in the Longhorns, strength right now. I like Santa Barbara. The plus 650 price for me is not something I'm looking to get down with. Eye test wise, you're looking at Texas minus 700 and UCSB plus 650. That just doesn't match. There's no value there. I don't understand that price.
Plus 650, you're not looking to get down on?
Yeah. Well, look, Texas minus 700, and then UCS. Like if you were putting the two in a matchup against each other, if Texas hypothetically in a 1-game matchup minus 700, sure, the other side of that line should be like plus 850. Okay. Like mechanically, I don't think that makes sense. I would list UCSB at like 11-1 if you legitimately think Texas is minus 700. I don't think so. I think UCSB is quality enough to win this regional. Price wise, I'm going to point you guys to Tarleton and Tarleton State. Here's why. The WAC champ the last 2 years has made noise in regionals. Grand Canyon 2 years ago in 2024 played for a regional championship, and last year the WAC champ was Utah Valley, and they knocked off Oregon in game 1 of the regional. I think Tarleton's for real too. I think the 2 and the 3 seed here go whichever way you want. My point or advice would be the Texans.
All right.
I'm on the I'm going to stay on the Gauchos. I like that reasoning, but I just do think like I can't bet on a team that is facing the best pitcher in the country in game 1 of the landscape of these regionals. If you lose game 1, it's a long uphill battle from there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stay on the Gauchos.
You've got to be able to swing it or to slug to get yourself through the losers bracket. And I do think Texans have what it takes to do that. They have some power hitting. They're able to manufacture runs in a multitude of ways. I think they're top 15 in stolen bases this year. I like Tarleton State. I think they're a little underrated. But UC Santa Barbara. UC Santa Barbara is a preseason Omaha ticket of mine. I
was going to say, so. I know we both have that.
Yeah,
so
I love UCSB, but their offense sucks.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's jump over to the region there in Tuscaloosa. Roll Tide. Sewell Thomas Stadium. It's always tricky for me. Like that old running back from Oklahoma, Steve Sewell. Is it Sewell? Is it Sewell? Anyway, Alabama is hosting. Shout out to Alabama State in the SWAC. I saw Pine Bluff knocked off our boys. We thought Bethune-Cookman, who had done damage. They had done damage in the non-con.
Yeah.
The Hornets of Alabama State come out of the SWAC. They'll be facing off the Crimson Tide there. South Carolina Upstate who knocked off Longwood in the championship game there, and then Oklahoma State. Okay. I mean, this one's intriguing, I guess. OK State is, I mean, the odds in general, Alabama minus 145, Oklahoma State plus 175, Upstate plus 800, Alabama State, the Hornets there plus 4,500. I mean, could Upstate or is Alabama State actually pose a threat? Because I didn't watch a lot of Upstate baseball this year. I caught the championship game, and I don't know what to deduce from that. Is the gap that big? Because I guess to me, I'm on Oklahoma State. Shout out to my guy Joe Ranieri. JP, I'm curious your thoughts. Is this just a 2-team race, or does Upstate have a pulse?
It's not a 2-team race just because of how vulnerable Oklahoma State's bullpen has been at times. They can score a lot of runs, but they can also give up a lot of runs. But I do think, I mean, they're another team where I've just said, before this selection show, they are a hot team. They're top 3. They might lead the country in home runs, actually.
I think they're second.
The lineup is really, really good, and there is some talent in the staff. We've talked about it in our shows, just how inflated the ERAs are across the entire Big 12. They have some arms, and they are a really talented group. This is one, though, where, I don't know. I might be being persuaded by the hype video that Alabama's team put out today about hosting their first regional since 2010, and it made me want to run through a brick wall. And I feel like this Bama team, right when everyone thought they were going to start going downhill, they kind of dug in and continued to play pretty good baseball. So they're a team where I feel like they've just kind of had a chip on their shoulder all year, and I think they're going to continue to do that this weekend. And they are, this is that first reasonable price at minus 145. But I'm probably going to root for the Big 12 here. I try not to be a big homer or biased guy, but I think I'm going to pull for the Pokes here, and they're at a plus 175, which it's not great, but that'll be my pick here.
So are you reading off updated odds here? Did this line move here?
I'm also on Fanatics, so I don't.
Gotcha.
What are they at?
Wait, what did you quote the number at?
Plus 175. And then I have Alabama at minus 145.
Yeah, the number did move here a little bit.
Where, Bieniek?
Well, it opened Alabama minus 150, Oklahoma State plus 190. So it's 15 cents shorter for the Pokes price. So that's why I mentioned it, because I wrote down all the open on my notebook, and that's what I've been going off of. But the reason why I was double checking that price is because I'm on the Pokes with JP
and me.
Sorry,
myself as well, buddy.
There you go. So all 3 of us on Oklahoma State. Alabama, start off with them. So actually, I'll start off with the question that you phrased, JP. I think it's more of a 2-horse race, personally, of these 4 teams. Alabama State, I think, is the worst team in the field. I think
they're the worst team in the 64. I was going to state that.
Yeah. And then Upstate, I don't think that they're nearly as good this year as they were last year. I thought last year they had a really good team. This year kind of played well down the back half of the schedule because they had 30-something new guys from the transfer portal on this roster. Hell of a job by Kane Sweeney, their head coach, who's a young up-and-coming coach. I do believe in him, but 11-23 on the road, I just can't get over. I'm going to point you to Oklahoma State with that plus 175 price. The offense is really, really good. They can hit any type of pitching, I do believe. And you saw last year them hit the road to Athens in an SEC home regional, and they played in the regional final and were a couple of outs shy of knocking off Duke and potentially hosting a regional or super regional. Sorry. With Alabama, the pitching is good. Withstood 30 games in SEC. They're a top 20 staff. according to a couple of different things. The offense, there's talent there. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of swing and miss. And that's the one thing that Oklahoma State's pitching staff does have. They have elite stuff. It's a little bit of, dicey with the control. They are prone to giving up a free pass or two. But Oklahoma State has some arms that can rack up the strikeouts. And I think that's where you could see them take advantage of that Alabama lineup. I think the strength and weakness game of Oklahoma State's offense up against Alabama's pitching is more even than the weakness of Oklahoma State being the pitching and the weakness of Alabama being the offense. I like the Pokes and a potential regional where they play 2 or 3 times against each other. Give me them at plus 175.
Yep, I think we're all on the same page here. Let's jump on over to Gainesville. Bieniek. Oh God, I gotta hear him talk about this again. The Gators are taking on the Rider Broncos, the moving company. Also the Troy Trojan men, as well as those Miami Hurricanes have been up and down all year. I was talking about that. I caught them, I don't know, throughout the season. There was times where I thought they were really, really good. There's other times I thought they were terrible. That's an intriguing one just because I feel like the Hurricane, if they're playing their best ball, they could be a problem. But Florida's minus 200, the Hurricanes plus 320, the Trojan Men of Troy plus 650, and Rider, the moving company, plus 2,000. Bieniek, should I even ask you? I look, normally I go to JP here, but you're a Florida fan. Is this a smash play by you?
No, I don't think it's a smash. I don't know if there's a clear challenger to Florida in this regional, unfortunately. But that's kind of when the Gators tend to get caught. This team has been so up and down the entire year. It's been an absolute roller coaster, and we've seen Kevin O'Sullivan teams do this recently. The last 6 years, they've lost 3 home regionals. I believe it was 2019, 2022, and 2023. They're prone to just dropping the home regional in a year where they're kind of, not looking great. And then they finish the regular season and look great in the SEC tournament. They finish hot and then they just fall flat on their face in a regional. That is definitely a possibility. I just don't see a clear candidate of a team necessarily doing that to them. Florida in their series against Miami, I thought outclassed the Hurricanes in 2 games. And the Canes, quite frankly, did not want to play a third game in that and use the weather as kind of an excuse to get out of Gainesville. I think this is a Gators regional. And if you're looking to get cute with like a best value, a best bet, just a pick, I think it's Troy. They scheduled aggressively in the non-conference. They had a top 3 non-conference strength of schedule. Troy recruits out of the portal like a high major team. There is some talent there. It's kind of raw. They hadn't really realized that at all this year. And they played 5 games against Southern Miss in the final month of the year. And 4 of those 5, they had the Golden Eagles down to the wire and weren't necessarily able to knock them off in 3 of them. I think they ended up just winning 1 game of those 5. So it's like a team that is knocking on the door, trying to break through. Does it happen this weekend? I'm not bullish enough to pick it. Florida is a team that I think is worthy of a money line parlay, regional parlay type of deal. JP.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. I do think it's such a strange thing. Like Florida is one of those teams that you see fumble games like this so often. So it's a possibility. But also when you see them play as good as they've played the past few weeks, like they look like the best team in college baseball at times. I do think Miami and Florida, this team they play every year. It's a rivalry. That's similar to UNC and ECU to me, where I think you can kind of throw everything out the window and that's just going to be a dogfight if those 2 teams meet up. And again, similar to the Auburn regional, this one, odds wise for me, there's just nothing that's good enough there to grab that I truthfully see happening other than taking Florida as a parlay piece, and which I'm seeing minus 200 at right now. So like, I'm curious, you even put like them and Georgia together, you'd get pretty good odds on that.
Yeah, you would get a cocktail party, but yeah, you would also get a good regional parlay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't love. I think if I had to play a dog, it'd be Troy, I guess.
Yeah, that's where I would go if I had to.
Yeah, don't love the price, but that's my pick too.
By the way, while you guys were talking, not that you guys are boring, but I was looking up ECU tickets. Man, cheapest ticket at Boschhammer's $240.
Wow.
For noon on Friday.
They're pricing you out of there.
Good God. Really gonna have to do this, right?
Just tailgate in the parking lot.
Well, that's already happening.
Yeah, your boy, half of your boys don't even go into the park. They just sit in the tailgate.
Yeah, well, that's because $240. I mean, come on, you go to ECU. That's like buying a house. Anyway, next up, let's go to Hattiesburg. Man, this one's pretty fun. I thought I don't know about you guys, but it struck me as one of the ones that caught my eye more than most. Southern Miss and their Brett Favre blood money. They're doing things down there. Pete Taylor Park. Obviously, always a lit environment. Southern Miss fans are great. Well, they are, and let me jump over to DK and make sure these are accurate right there. But Southern Miss plus 100, Little Rock plus 1900, as they win the OVC for a second straight year. These Trojan men of Little Rock.
They're 9-1 in that OVC tournament the last 2 years.
Kicking ass. Jacksonville State, who has been good all year at plus 265, and then the Wahoos of Virginia there at plus 285. Man, I really thought at one point the Wahoos were going to take it to was it Carolina? It was Carolina, I believe, right? They were up like early on, and I thought, man, they got this. Intrigued by this field. But I'm also a guy as an ECU fan that remembers how good Southern Miss was in the CUSA. So when I see plus 100 on Southern Miss, although they've been playing with fucking fire, man, they've been playing with fire lately. I'm curious, I guess before this is one where I want to listen to you guys take, because I'm very intrigued with the field here. JP, what are you doing here in Hattiesburg?
I think this is an interesting one. This is our first host where we're seeing that plus sign, right?
I know where JP's going.
It is Pete Taylor Park. There's only one direction that I'm going in here, though. And Colby, you probably don't remember, but I'm going back to my preseason Omaha 8 pick, the Little Rock Trojans. They needed the championship to get in. They got it done. It's still alive. Hey, I said it in the preseason. Last year, they went to the box, took them to the regional final. This year, they're returning like 30-something of those 40 kids. They will be they will not let Hattiesburg in this moment get the best of them. I'll say that. They are ready for the moment. And, yeah, I'm on the Trojans. There's only one way I can go.
That's fantastic. That a great callback, by the way. And your pet Cadigan. My apologies. I just went to like 30 games, so I can't remember which one was which. It was Virginia that was beating Georgia Tech, not North Carolina. My apologies.
Virginia took it to North Carolina in a series back in like March. They destroyed them.
Yeah. Well, I just saw like 20 baseball games live. So you're just like, which one was which? Bieniek, I mean, this he's kind of got me excited about potentially plus 1900 Little Rock play. Yeah. What are you doing here, buddy?
I don't know. I'm ready to sell a used car too. So Jacksonville State was going to be a team that I was going to back in almost any regional. And I expected them to be a 2 seed. Now I do think they are an underseeded 3 with a weaker 2 in Virginia. So don't get me wrong. But so Jacksonville State's AD was on the committee, and this is something that we had a theory about. Maybe, the AD wanted to push Jacksonville State outside of the 2s, because those bottom 4 2s got sent to Auburn, Georgia Tech, Georgia, and UCLA. So maybe he just wanted to nudge them out and just land in a regional that was close to home and somewhat manageable. And Jacksonville State, I think, has a chance here. You mentioned Southern Miss kind of playing with fire recently. I would say they're not necessarily playing their best ball of the season right now. Also, when they host regionals, for whatever reason, they always kind of have a knack of having to battle through the losers bracket. So that's something that I have a little bit of nerves with this Southern Miss team. And the offense isn't as good as it's been in years past, but the pitching staff is elite. Jacksonville State's a really nice balance of both. I think they're not elite on either facet. I think they have a really good lineup and a really great starting rotation. Eli Pillsbury, Bo Bryan, Stephen Cash, all sub 4.20 ERA. Their bullpen has 3 or 4 arms that are all, reliable, sub 4 ERA. Jacksonville State's a team that I have fallen in love with and kind of was hoping for a good draw, and I don't think this is a bad one. Jacksonville State plus 265 is not the juiciest price in the world, but it is kind of telling that they are a shorter price than the 2 seed overall in this regional in Virginia, which is slightly larger. So I like the Gamecocks here, Colby.
I love the fact there's another Pillsbury throw boy. Yeah. Let's go. I mean, look, for the record, let's jump on this Little Rock play. Plus 1900. JP, let's do this fucking thing. Let's go. I can't take the Wahoos. It's either that or Jacksonville State, but I'm actually going to place a bet because this field seems very intriguing to me. Shout out to Feels Bad Man. He goes, there's so much paint huffing potential in the woods near Boschhammer and Chapel Hill. 100%. They got this big water tower, right? You see it. I feel like if you're at that stadium, they got this gigantic water tower that, if you know water towers, the bottom of a water tower, always a great place to huff paint. But for more on that, follow me on Twitter at @TheColbyD. Next up, we have, let's jump over to, and you guys missed the slide on this, Bieniek, but look at these stats hitting you with some numbers. YouTube.com/thecollegeexperience. If you want to see how great that field is there in Hattiesburg.
JP knew the teams that we were picking like the back of our hands. Okay, we didn't need any stats there for that slide.
That's true. But still, if you're a vanilla Joe out there and you're just wondering what the fuck should I bet on, there's some numbers for your face.
Look at those stats. Jacksonville State just straight up better than Virginia across the board. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and as Real Money Kramer says, what the hell is a Wahoo anyway? Next up, let's talk Tallahassee, Saudi Arabia State, aka Florida State. Dick Hauser, great name by the way. Dick Hauser Stadium is gonna be rocking, and I think you guys all watched that Pitt game, right? Yeah, absolutely phenomenal baseball game. But, and I know Florida State's had their issues with big time opponents this year, but I almost think there's a benefit to losing in that fashion in the conference tournament. Am I wrong, Bieniek or JP? Like what? Because we'll get to the odds, but I just wanted to take a step back on the way they lost that game. Because they had battled back from down early, and it was kind of a crushing defeat.
Yeah.
Is there value in that? Like, not remove Florida State from the equation. Team A, Team B, Team C. In losing like that, the way you lost in your conference tournament, do you think that's a good thing? In hindsight, going into it, fire away.
I personally think if you're a team where you're in the tournament despite of what you do in the conference tournament, I truthfully think that the conference tournament can only be good for morale. But to your question, like, I think if you lose, once you lose in the conference tournament, like, it's as simple as like, all right, flush it. Like, who gives a shit? And I think if you win and go on a run like Georgia Tech, or maybe if a Pitt were to get in the tournament, that's when it's like, okay, we're building on this. But to your answer, is Florida State sitting at home thinking about that loss right now? I don't think so. I think as soon as they got on the bus, it was flush it. We're going to get a regional at our ballpark, and everything we need to do is in front of us. And I don't think they were really thinking about it too much.
Yeah. So they're minus 170, by the way, in the regional. Coastal Carolina, the Shots, who I caught live, plus 210. And Northern Illinois, the first time that look, their final year in the MAC, they win the MAC. Their first time dancing in 56 years, was it, or 54 years? I can't remember. And then the Johnnies out of the Big East, plus 1,700. And I must stop for a second. GBO Farms. Giving us $10. Flight is booked. Sheridan and Chapel Hill is booked from Thursday to Sunday. Be there, Colby? On Saturday. You can't do Friday. On Saturday, after when ECU is 1-0.
I hear NC Nick and GBO Farms are like a dynamic duo combo there.
Let's go, GBO. We will talk. Hit me up on Twitter at @DColbyD. But before you do that, GBO. Okay, back to the odds though, man. I am curious. This, I mean, I'm all over Coastal, guys. Who we kidding here? I know maybe last year's run was so exciting. Maybe you want to fade them. But plus 210, I still think that team's pretty fucking good, man. So I'll take plus 210 with the Chanticleers. And anytime I can back an athletic department that got funded from the creator of Hooters, I will do that. Bieniek, what are you doing here?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting regional. Florida State's athletic how was the chairman of the selection committee. So easy to figure out how there's three mid majors here in the Tallahassee.
There's no corruption.
Regional.
There's never no corruption in college sports. You kidding me?
Yeah. But so Florida State's 7-11 in quad one, and 0-8 against one seeds. Tournament competition, I believe they're 10-18. So like when they play up, they're not necessarily, dominant or like controlling the game script of these matchups. So I think they are somewhat vulnerable, and I find this market, this Tallahassee regional, somewhat advantageous. Coastal Carolina, last year playing for a national championship, the plus 210 price I don't necessarily think is fair, because I don't think they're as good of a team as they were last year. They are dealing with a handful of injuries.
Well, the coach rumblings as well.
Yeah, and
if
he
the
may land at
job be open. Yeah,
may land at South Carolina. I mean, JP's got really good connections with Schnall over there too. So, yeah, I mean, so there's some distractions. The team's not quite as good. They're they've done well up until this point. They were on track as a top 20 team in the country until the kind of wheels fell off here in the last 3 weeks. They're not playing their best ball entering the tournament here. 4-6 in their last 10. And if you expand that, it's not really any better.
Tell me you're taking UIC and Northern Illinois, dude.
I know where he's going.
I am taking you to St. John's.
Yes.
St. John's this year started the season 1-10. They were kind of rebuilding, retooling here a little bit with the roster. It's easy to see that you're going to start 1-10 when you have a 3-game set against Kentucky, 3-game set at Arizona State. So that's 6 losses right there. Let me tell you, though, Kentucky, they lost all 3 games by 3 runs or less, and they didn't allow more than 3 runs. So it's just the offense didn't show up to play in Lexington that weekend. It could have been cold too. And then Arizona State, for as an explosive an offense it could be, or as explosive an offense the Sun Devils have. Game 1, Arizona State dressed it up with 5 runs in the 7th inning to win 9-1. Game 2, just 3-1. And this is early in the season in February. In conference play, the top 3 teams outside of St. John's were Creighton, UConn, and Xavier. St. John's was 9-3 against those 3 teams. I think this is a different team right now playing, good baseball. I think the Johnnies have a very good pitch to contact type of offense. Florida State's without their best power hitter and Miles Bailey. He's out for the year with a season-ending injury. This is the regional of injuries and the regional of opportunity. I do think that Northern Illinois played in a strong MAC. Kent State and Miami, Ohio had better numbers and were on the bubble. It could have been a 2-bid MAC this year, but NIU 1 game behind in the regular season standings. They win the conference tournament. They're here. My pick, though, is St. John's, and you can find them at 17-1 on DraftKings.
0-6 in quad 1 games. He's going with the Patino boys. I love it.
Hey, those 6 quad 1 games were in February. That's why I wanted to mention that at the
that
top.
Rapoli NIL money.
Yeah.
JP, I mean, is he crazy for this Johnny's play?
I don't think he's crazy. I truly think this could be potentially kind of anyone's regional. With that being said, some of his reasoning behind the Big East stuff, like I'm not saying this because I hate Xavier, but I do think the Big East just wasn't quite as strong. Like this is honestly a respectful take on Xavier. Like they're usually a lot better baseball team than they were this year, for sure. Coastal is one that's scary, and Noah kind of mentioned it. It's a program that's close to my heart. They have not been playing their best baseball the past 3 or 4 weeks, but I said it for the conference tournament, and it didn't quite happen. Like, it would be the most Coastal Carolina thing ever to just turn it on and look like the team that everybody expects them to when they need to. And I do think this is a Florida State team that has really kind of been up and down, and they haven't looked great at times. So I'm going to be rooting for the Shants, so I'll pick the Shants since Noah went elsewhere. Yeah, this is one, honestly, though, when you look at like the 9 and 10 regionals, or I guess, no, this would be paired with Alabama. Yeah. Didn't have a good GPA for a reason. My math isn't always great. So yeah, never mind. But I'll go with Coastal.
Well, I don't get brain bag cold, but they're counting down 7-6-5.
That's okay.
I was saying, how great would it be if this one was paired with Southern Miss? And I think this field of 8 would be a shit show. And it would be awesome.
That would be fire. I get where you're going there. Next up,
how about this shit show?
Pac-12.
Eugene, Oregon. Yeah. All right, Larry Scott with your $50,000 a night hotel rooms in Vegas, and George Kliavakov or wherever the fuck. They hired a guy from DirecTV from the start. What? DirecTV was a dinosaur when they hired him. That's like getting someone from Blockbuster Video. But either way, the Pac-12 is it's gone, but not really. I guess it's back. That sequel though is different. Starting next year, you will see Washington State in the Pac-12 in baseball because they won the Mountain West this year. I watched that game. Shout out to the Cougs. My friend, rest in peace to my friend Mike Leach. The Oregon Ducks are hosting the Yale Bulldogs. Nothing like a good trip there. Oregon's minus 125. Yale is plus 1,100. And then the Pac-2. For a year, they were the Pac-2, just not in baseball. Oregon State plus 165 and Wazoo plus 1,400 for a minute. We can all appreciate this, right? As college sports fans.
Yeah.
I have no alliance to the Pac-12.
I do think shoving Yale into the Pac-12 party is hilarious.
Fucking hilarious, especially because I just read an article. If you're not familiar, folks, Yale is located in the great state of Connecticut. I just read an article.
The Pacific Northwest, Connecticut.
Dude, it gets even better. I read an article about the new Pac-12 in football, right? Like, so this year, Washington State in all sports and you know, like half the Mountain West are going to the Pac-12, the new version of the Pac-12. But they're at an odd number, I believe the article stated, and they listed
like 9, right?
Yeah, they listed that they want to add one more, and I was like curious because the on Twitter the article that I clicked on had Sacramento State and New Mexico State on the cover of the article, like the tweet. So I was like, okay, let me see if this is serious or not. I mean, it was done by credible people, but UConn was their 1 to most likely join the Pac-12, which is also a Connecticut school, hence UConn, University of Connecticut. So I like this. They're seeing how this travel is going to work for Yale as they come out there. But yes, Yale is plus 1,100. Oregon State, the Beavs plus 165. Washington State plus 1,400. Let me ask you something here. Is this a good time to jump on the Beavs? Because Oregon State, did you guys watch the UCLA game? That shit was chippy. That shit was chippy. And I just wonder sometimes if you come, I know that there's still a rival. You know, the Civil War rivalry should still happen every year. Football, basketball, baseball, whatever. I don't give a shit. Badminton, darts at a dive bar in fucking Salem, Oregon, right? But
down there.
Yes, yeah. so like I just feel like sometimes you're coming off such an emotional game. There might be value in fitting them. Obviously not in the Yale game, but I'm saying just so I'm gonna jump on these Beavs. Maybe it's a sympathy play because I feel like they were not deserving of the hand they were dealt. Same with Wazoo, but I feel like Oregon State's kind of a team you can trust, a brand name you can trust in college baseball to a certain extent. Bieniek, your thoughts?
I will say, Colby, not so fast on like pushing Yale to a side for that first game.
Okay.
Jack Omen's on the mound, and last year he was elite, one of the best mid-major arms in the country. This year, the stats wise, it's another year of scouting report on him in the Ivy League. I do think they're relatively good scholars, so they have figured some things out. A couple of his stats are a little bit bloated, but talent's there. There's going to be plenty of scouts at PK Park just to watch Jack Omen against the Power Conference school. So I just wanted to put that out there. I do think this is a 2-horse race between Oregon and Oregon State. And when this regional pairing, was announced, the Ducks went crazy. They wanted the Beavs. They wanted the smoke at home in Eugene. And I think that Oregon's just a team playing with confidence right now. You lose a nail biter in a walk-off hit by pitch fashion against the number 1 team in the country. I don't think that necessarily affects morale too much. And I think their weekend rotation's really hitting their stride at the right time of the season. They moved Colin Clark kind of to a leverage reliever, bulk reliever role. And Will Sanford, Cal Scolari, and Miles Castalla have been great for Oregon. And they're kind of piecing that back into the bullpen together. And Oregon State's without their ace, Dax Whitney, and their bullpen has had to slide up one spot ahead and haven't really, been a well-oiled machine since they did that. So I do think the Ducks at -125, just a one bullet, makes a lot of sense. I like Oregon in the Eugene Regional here at home with that 23-5 record at PK Park. JP?
There's Noah Petiti.
There
he is, Mr. Big Ten. He's here.
Oh, come on. You don't like our joke of Oregon State in the SEC here?
Oh, nice. YouTube.com/the college experience. That dude, why not? Right? We got Stanford, the ACC.
Right in. It's a good baseball program.
The SEC could look at what the ACC's done with Stanford and Cal, and maybe they could value that as a win for their conference. I don't know how, but maybe they're like, you know what? Maybe we should get Oregon State and Wazoo. JP, what are you doing here?
Honestly, for me, I just kind of want to root against Oregon. I'm kind of pissed they got an 11 seed. I don't really think they quite deserve that, and I don't think they're the 11th best team in the country. With that being said, I guess I've just kind of in my head feel like they're slightly overrated all year. I think they're a good team, but not 11 or top 15. Honestly, in my opinion, as far as just pure talent and how they've played. So for that reason alone, and then on the flip side of that, you get a program like Oregon State and the success that they've had in June for the past few years, almost a decade now. I'll be on the Beavers here for sure. No doubt.
Last
Nice
2.5
Beaver.
decades.
Yeah.
So Colby, I do think I'm posing this to JP. If he wants to answer it, go ahead. I think Yale is more of a tougher test in game 1, round 1, and the Eugene regional than Washington State is the Oregon State.
Yeah, just because you always fear that starting pitcher, and at this point in the year, they can go 8 innings, 9 innings. When you think about baseball and the one thing that knocks off the best team, it's one really good arm. So I'm with you.
Yeah. I agree with Sunday Puncher. Low scoring regional here.
I just wonder about Yale's travel. I mean, could you get any further? Short of playing in Honolulu. All right, next up, let's jump over to College Station. You got the 12th man. I see you back here. Shout out to Olsen Field at Bluebell Park. I love how they added that. Look, A&M, Texas A&M, the 12 seed there. Pretty good rebound season, right? Wouldn't you say overall, Bieniek? Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Great.
Yeah. Pretty good rebound season. They're minus 190 are these Aggies, as they say, gig 'em. USC, the Trojan men, is plus 230. Texas State, them Bobcats, which interesting. They got in over UTSA plus 1100, and Lamar, the Cardinals. That place was lit when they won the fucking Southland Conference there, plus 2500. I just feel like minus 190. Where this is where like you could buy into that, but to me, I'm gonna buy into USC. I mean, this seems like chalky. I feel like I'm going with the 2 seed now on every fucking one. Is there value on Texas State? Is there value on Texas State, boys? Because that's the question I wonder. Like, I'd be willing to throw some money at Texas State if you could sell me on why I should take them. Because I didn't watch a ton of Texas State, but I did watch them lose the battle of I-75. I-35, I think it is. Bieniek, Texas State. Is there value on Texas State?
Texas State is a hot ball of fire. It either equals, their streaky team is what I'm trying to say. It either equals them going on a run or them being a dumpster fire fighting with each other. Like literally they kicked off their starting shortstop 3 weeks ago, and they've actually kind of played better since. That's been the storyline on the Bobcats lately is it's a fiery bunch and a streaky bunch. On the road here, I don't know if I necessarily love them in Bluebell. That's the thing. I think A&M's super vulnerable. They played both Texas State and Lamar already this season. The scouting report's out on the Ags and also out on the Bobcats and Cardinals for what that's worth. And A&M is dealing with a handful of injuries and have been the last month. And I just don't know if they're necessarily playing their best baseball entering the NCAA tournament either. You look at Nico Partita, who's been a star freshman for them. He's been dealing with an injury lately, and I don't know if he's 100%. Boston Kellner as well, their starting shortstop, had an orbital fracture, and he's playing with like a massive face mask. He's not 100% right now. Chris Akopian's been playing through something with his hand. He's only been DHing. And that's just on the offensive side. Their best arm, Aiden Sims, is not even confirmed to be able to throw yet this regional. They're working him back, but I don't know if I have a whole lot of faith in him being a starting pitcher for this weekend for A&M. And he's by far their best arm. This is already a very thin pitching staff. I think they're vulnerable, but their home atmosphere gives them a fighting chance with a really good offense. The team I think that can neutralize them is USC. It's an elite pitching staff, 1, 2, 3 in the starting rotation, elite. Mason Edwards, best pitcher in the country, statistically in the power conference, and just strikeouts wise, it's unreal. Strikeout per 9. The thing that is the black eye for USC is every time they've taken a step up in competition, 1, it's been on the road, and 2, they haven't been able to pull off the win. You look at their 3 best series in Big Ten play, at UCLA, at Oregon, at Nebraska. They were swept by the Bruins, swept by the Cornhuskers, and they lost the series 2-1 to Oregon. Can they do enough damage on the road in College Station? That's the big question mark. The price on USC plus 245 is nasty. I don't like it. I don't think there's any value whatsoever, but I can't lay 205 with Texas A&M, and I don't think I have a whole lot of faith in Texas State playing consistent enough at 11-1, nor do I think Lamar is good enough offensively at 25-1 for that to be worthy. I think USC has to be the play in the College Station Regional, JP.
Yeah, I think, honestly, looking at Football Junkie's comment saying can't figure out this A&M team, I feel like, honestly, all 4 of these teams, or at least the first 3 seeds, like, you can't really figure them out. A&M has had a lot of success, but like you said, they're winning some of these games like 19-13, which does not really play the deeper you get into a postseason. USC obviously 1-11 in Q1. They're another team where I get it. I think their pitching staff's good, but I just don't see it with them, considering they haven't beaten good teams. Texas State, Colby, if you want me to sell you on Texas State, all I'll say is pretty much the entire Sun Belt Conference and at least the top half. It's a group of just gritty-ass teams. We'll talk about Louisiana here in a second. They call themselves the Hosewater Boys. Like, all of these teams will just fight you in the parking lot, and they're not scared of anything. And Texas State knows Bluebell Park well. So I'll go with Slam Marcos and the boys at plus 1,100.
This is a great party school. Well, I'm trying to remember. Was it them that beat Texas this year?
Texas State usually jumps up and bites. I don't know if they necessarily.
I feel like I watched
them off this year. I'll look real quick.
No, they didn't. I think they lost both.
It was
lost.
Who else is in the Texas regional?
Oh, they beat A&M, dude. They beat A&M. That's what I'm thinking of.
Texas State did?
Yeah. They beat A&M 9-8 there in San Marcos a while back there, but on April 7th. Okay, maybe that was the game I saw.
Yeah.
I don't know though, man, because I feel like that's revenge now. I'm gonna stick with USC. I'm gonna stick with this. I've been hitting a lot of these 2 seeds though, man.
Texas State is 9-3 since they kicked their shortstop off the team.
Damn, maybe you're right. maybe there's something there, but plus 1,100. Fuck it. I've been doing too many of these 2 seeds. All right, let's go. Give me 1,100, JP. This in Little Rock. If this hits, dude, I'll fucking buy a house right next to you and fuck with you the entire fucking time. All right, like wherever you live in Colorado, I'm headed there. All right, I will buy a house. I promise you. I'm telling you, you'll
become
your girlfriend or whatever. You're gonna fucking hate me because I'm just gonna be cooking food. Your wife, girlfriend, whatever it is, right? I'm telling you, we're gonna be dancing all day. All right, you're gonna be wondering, turn the music down, Dundee. What are you doing here?
We're only gonna we're just gonna go on like whatever website and just order a shit ton of Texas State gear. Like that's the only thing we wear
Texas
for the next.
I'll be eating Texas barbecue. I'll have that shit overnighted, right? To me. We're going to be barbecuing all throughout Colorado. People are going to just have no idea They don't know. They just don't know. Like if we hit on this in Little Rock, which Arkansas, I know they're not known for their barbecue, but fuck it, they border battle. They touched Texas. They can do some fucking barbecue, I'm sure.
No doubt.
So let's go. Next up, let's talk Lincoln, Nebraska. I was disappointed to see the Huskers get blanked by the Ducks, as we had a future on Nebraska.
Yeah.
But they're first off, kudos. You win. I'm surprised you said Alabama State's the worst team in the field because South Dakota State. I can tell you this: South Dakota State probably has the worst film department in the field, because watching that.
Well, it's like Midcoast Sports or whatever, right,
dude? They need to pick up a phone and or check YouTube out because.
Check YouTube out.
Yeah,
the college experience has
like,
better
this
production.
This is their product. But Arizona State, the Sun Devils, and Ole Miss in this region. Now the odds in Lincoln, Nebraska. Nebraska plus 110. Ole Miss, the Rebels plus 170. Arizona State plus 350, and South Dakota State plus 8,000. Jackrabbits. All right. Well, look. The question is do we jump back on, because this, we know Big Red Nation, go Big Red, they will have this shit turned up.
This place will be a zoo.
But if you're catching a fucking if you're getting shut out at home to Oregon,
in their defense, that game time was thrown all out of whack with the weather and everything, and their home environment, atmosphere, crowd didn't get to play as much of a factor in either game, Michigan or Oregon. So, yeah.
So you're saying I should go back to the well, because I was pretty sold on Ole Miss.
I'm going back to well. I'm taking Nebraska.
Noah Patati's back.
No, I'm taking Nebraska plus 110. They're 23-1 at Haymarket Park, dude. Like 23-1's the real damn deal. But I'm not going to steal the thunder. I'm going to let JP take the lead here because this is another one of his cute Omaha picks that's actually really worked out this year.
Well, yeah, I was actually just going to say, like, in this one, I mean, this is going to be a dogfight of a regional. I see Arizona State beating Ole Miss in game one. I think with Carlone on the bump, Ole Miss's lineup is scary, but there is a ton of swing and miss in that lineup. And I just think that it's a perfect recipe for Arizona State to win that game one. And then I think the deeper you get into that staff, potentially, like, this is where the dog of Nebraska comes out. This is where they pull their pants up. They got dirt all over their uniforms. They're spitting dips on the other team. I mean, this is a gritty bunch of dudes. And we just saw what their softball regional looked like last week. It's going to be a freaking zoo. And the Huskers were also in my Omaha 8 pick, and this one looks even better than Little Rock. They got to host a regional. So yeah, I have to rock with the Huskers. I've been rocking with them all year, so I can't stop now.
Yeah, I think this is the best 1, 2, 3 seed trio in all of the regionals. This thing's going to be on ESPN. They're sending their number 1 broadcast team to Lincoln this weekend. This place is going to be on fire. Yeah, if you look at it, here's the simplest way, that just the third grade way of explaining these three teams. Arizona State, best offense. Ole Miss, best pitching. Nebraska, best balance of the two. And the fact that Arizona State does have a true ace who's one of the best arms in the country, and Ole Miss's ace this year, Hunter Elliott, he's been good. He's a program legend. If they throw him in that first game, he's just a pitchability lefty that I think will get gobbled up by the Sun Devils offense. I do think I like ASU in that first game. Ole Miss would have to come through the losers bracket. ASU in the winners bracket. I think that sets up perfectly for Nebraska with a clean pitching staff on Sunday to either face Arizona State, who's got really thin pitching staff after Carlone on Friday, or Ole Miss, who's already used their top 3 arms to get to that Nebraska game on Sunday. So I think this sets up perfectly for the Cornhuskers at plus 110. That place is going to be on fire. I think that they are also an underrated bunch. I think they've got 4 really, really quality arms. And a lineup 1 through 9 that can really stick it. So, and they're the best fielding team in the country at 985. So, Cornhuskers.
I think one thing to point out about their arms too, in those 4, is I'm pretty sure all 4 have started and thrown out of the bullpen. And just when you talk about this regional setting, and when you're asking a guy to maybe have some balls and come close out a game after he started a game 3 days ago, you see it happen. And I think Nebraska, they got quite a few dudes on the mound that'll be prepared for literally anything you ask of them.
Yeah, look, they burned me already. I'm done with your guys' bullshit Nebraska thing. Ole Miss, the more I think about it, Lane Kiffin's comments, they might be in their head. Venezia's pizza is delicious. They treated us at SGPN to a fantastic weekend in Tempe. So consider me a company man. Sun Devils, baby. Matola's going to vomit. Sun Devils, get it done. I'm probably not going to bet this region, to tell you the truth, but I'll be rooting for Arizona State. Next up, let's jump over to Stark Vegas, where JP will be on deck there watching. All right. Let's go. Hail State. First, you've been to Stark Vegas before, right?
I went last year. Yeah.
Oh man. One of the best college baseball environments. They're minus 425. Cincinnati, your Bearcats plus 550. The Ragin' Cajuns plus 800, and Lipscomb plus 7,500 there. The boys in Nashville. Guys, these Ragin' Cajuns have been fun to watch lately. All right. JP, you're a Bearcat. Sell me on why I should take the Bearcats.
I think the sell on the Bearcats is, I'll be honest, Louisiana is a scary game 1 right
that's
now.
That's what I was thinking.
Great sell on the Bearcats.
No, I'm being dead serious. But our guy at night, they did get the night game for whatever reason. I don't know why, but Nathan Taylor on the mound for the Bearcats. This, obviously, if they don't win this regional, this would be his last start for Cincinnati ever. 3 years. He will go in the draft. He's got a chance to break the all-time career strikeout record for Cincinnati. So I
Isn't
do
it
like
only
them.
2 strikeouts needed too.
No, because I think he only got like 1 or 2 against Arizona State. I think he might need like 5. It's very much within reach. But so I do think they get that win game 1. And the sell is honestly more of a fade on Mississippi State at home, and the fact that they have not played well in their own home ballpark this year. And I think the one weakness on Mississippi State has been the back end of the bullpen at times. And I think Cincinnati's strength would be able to put up runs. This ballpark does tend to play as more of a hitter's ballpark. So that is my sell on Cincinnati. If you get this team in a slugfest, they can slug and run the bases and just cause some havoc. So that's my sell. With that being said, I think Louisiana is one of the most dangerous 3 seeds, and I think that this is Mississippi State's regional to lose if they do play their best baseball.
Yeah, so the home, that's crazy because their home environment. I'll never forget, we had Joe Theismann on our show, and he was raving about you got to go see a game there in Stark Vegas with Mississippi State with college baseball. I'm thinking about these Raging Cajuns, Bieniek. I hate to do it to you, JP, but I caught them the past couple games, and I was like, wow, they're a fun bunch, and they're not that far away from Stark Vegas. So it's like, could they travel? Could their fans travel a little bit? I don't know.
Bieniek, they will. I think so. Their fan base, they actually Like when my brother played in the Sun Belt, this was his favorite place to go to. They have a whole crowd section called the Ragin' Cajun Cooking Club, and they get after it down there a lot. So I would not be surprised if they bring a decent amount of people to Starkville.
Yeah,
And North says he's jumping on the Bearcats plus 600, 513 stand up. Sorry,
go.
what were you saying?
No, all good. They're a baseball fan base. Louisiana will have a good contingency there. Of the 13,000, it will be probably 10,000 Hail State. But you'll see Louisiana's good contingency, and then probably JP and a couple of his buddies. that'll be how it goes for crowd size here. But yeah, this was one of the tougher regionals for me to find a best bet or a value bet, because I can't get with Mississippi State minus 425. They played 5 home series in the SEC this year. They lost 3 of them, Georgia, Tennessee, and somebody else. But like JP said, against quality competition, they didn't look great at home for whatever reason. They do have a sweep over Lipscomb at home this year, and the Sunday game was 26-0. But I say throw that result out the window. The Sunday game against Lipscomb doesn't matter. It's just a fun factoid for this talking point. Mississippi State's offense since has not been the same as it looked in February, March, even kind of April. The quad 1 record there for Hail State, 9-14. 4 of those wins are against Ole Miss. They're really kind of, if you want to exclude those 4, 5-14 against quality top NCAA tournament competition. And the Cincinnati quad 1 record has fluctuated more, I think, than any other in the country. They had a series against UAB. They had a series against another team that's kind of on the fringe of that quad 1. For a while there, they were top 5, top 10 in quad 1 victories this season. They've played their best against the best in the country, and they're 17-12 in 29 road games this season. I don't think that is anything to look away from. And Jordan Bischel, a couple of years ago at Central Michigan, as a 4 seed, competed for a regional final in the Starkville regional. He's been there, done that. I think he's a very, very quality coach. Tit for tat, I think Cincinnati's a little bit of a better offense than Louisiana. Louisiana's got a little bit of better pitching staff. I can't choose between those 2 prices, but I do think Cincy or Louisiana is the way to go. Personally, I think I'm going to land on Louisiana. I think they've got a little bit of better pitching depth to kind of make their way through and try to compete on Sunday against Hail State overall. But I do think I side with JP and overall saying Mississippi State's regional will lose, but I could see them losing it.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think it's absolute horseshit that we get a price on Cincinnati that's between 600 and 800, and you guys are picking the other underdog. I think it's total horseshit.
Well, they huff paint in Louisiana, so that's part of my logic is the huff paint parlay of ECU and the Raging Cajuns there.
Yeah, I will say Louisiana also playing some of their best ball, entering the NCAA tournament. They won a series over Coastal, then they beat Coastal 2 more times in the tournament.
He just said they're fearless, Bieniek, right? He just told me what he's like. Louisiana, they're like junkyard dogs. They're fearless. Right. So
they are. It's just unfortunately they got to face Nathan Taylor on a Friday night, and it's just not somewhere you want to be.
I think Louisiana entering this tournament, my math could be wrong here again, not a huge math major there, but 15-5 in their last 20 entering the NCAA tournament. They've played their way from outside of the bubble to through the bubble into the tournament. Raging Cajuns. They're also a young team that kind of has grown together throughout the year. They're without their preseason ace because he had a season long injury that he's dealing with, but they're just fine actually on the mound. They're really good. So I like the Cajuns.
Let's go. Next up, let's talk about these boys in Lawrence. I can't escape this viral video from these. I've seen this for like the past 2 years. There are fans there at Hoagland Park. Just everyone. It looks like everyone shotgun beers at the same time. A fantastic home crowd there in Lawrence. Kind of in similar vein as the Fog in basketball to a certain extent. Kansas, the 15th seed. This should be a fun time. I know Weehawk's excited about his boys there in Lawrence. He's saying, "Hey, all right, if Western Carolina can't get in, at least my boys from Lawrence will be hosting." So Kansas plus 165. They're not the odds-on favorite though. That is the Razorbacks. My Razorbacks, guys, plus 140. As you guys were right, they did not win the SEC tournament.
They got farther than I thought they would.
They were hot for a minute. These rain delays were killer too. Missouri State plus 475. These Bears border battle right across the state line there, and then Northeastern, who won an extra innings in the CAA there, plus 750. Interesting market odds wise, because it's basically telling. Are these the shortest? Are these the shortest odds for all four teams?
Yeah, 1 through 4 shortest.
Fascinating. Yeah, I'll take Arkansas again. I'm just gonna die on this hill with my Razorbacks. The year after the year. That was my theory.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I do think that this regional, the pricing kind of shows you what they're thinking as well there, with Arkansas favored over Kansas to come out of the Lawrence regional. This regional will have football scores. I'm predicting that. The only team that really has a solidified, solid pitching staff is Northeastern. Last year they had a top 5 ERA in the country, but we saw how that kind of fared in the NCAA tournament. They turned into a little bit of a pumpkin. So the strength of schedule in the CAA Northern Division is not too tough. And I do think that Arkansas, Missouri State, Kansas are gonna tee off in an offensive friendly park here at Hoagland. I find it pretty interesting that like Kansas has been a great team all the way throughout the season. JP may be able to explain this a little bit better than I. There's just not as much star power on that team. Dom Vagley's been great in the last month. The offense, it seems like every other weekend, it's a new guy stepping up. Brady Bollinger has kind of been the household name because last year he had a fantastic year. He's dealing with a little bit of a hamate issue, to my knowledge. I think that's what the injury is, and he's not 100%. I don't know if he's playing this weekend for Kansas. I still don't know if that moves the needle a ton. There's still a really good offense without him. Arkansas, though, they feel like they've hit their stride offensively, looked great in Hoover, and have looked great in SEC play. They really struggled in February and March. After that, they've been kind of a different team, and they've played well away from Fayetteville this season. Missouri State, another team that really can slug. Their top 2 arms in the weekend rotation are solid. I don't know if that moves the needle a ton, though, against Arkansas, who's played in the SEC and seen some of the best arms in the country. I do think it's the Hogs. That's the pick. One of my favorites, honestly, at this price of plus 140. So Arkansas in the Lawrence Regional for me, JP.
Yeah, I have a feeling like no one wanted to see Arkansas after they announced last night that they were not going to be hosting. No one wanted to see them. But since everyone and their mother is saying this is Arkansas's regional, they're going to sweep it. I think Kansas is also going to have a chip on their shoulder too. Like Bieniek, we were just talking last night. We thought they were going to get an 8 seed.
Yeah.
We thought they were going to get the top 8, and they gave them the 15 and fed them Arkansas. I mean, that was a slap in the face to the regular season and conference tournament champions in the Big 12.
Saying that sparked a memory. Last year, everybody was picking Florida and Coastal Carolina's regional after Coastal was projected as a top 8. I like what you're putting down here. I'm picking it up.
Yeah, I just think Kansas is feeling just as disrespected as Arkansas is right now. And this is a team that did not have a good start to the year and have been really, really good outside of maybe one series against West Virginia. So I honestly think like I could very much see Arkansas winning this thing, but I'll tell you who I'm going to be rooting for, and that is the Kansas Jayhawks, first ever regional in their ballpark. So give me the Jayhawks, give me the Big 12 champs.
There we go. Big 12. JP Yormark now showing his face. Let's up. Next up, we jump over.
What was your pick there, Colby? Arkansas?
Razorbacks, man.
Okay.
Look, this is the year to the year. I've been riding them all preseason and regular season. So let's go. Oh, God. Do we got to do this? Shout out to Tailgate Report will be there. I think he was pondering going to ECU.
He was trying to bully me into getting to Morgantown too.
No, he was pondering. So he was always trying to go to Morgantown. Then he was thinking about switching to going to Chapel Hill. But he texted me saying he's sticking to Morgantown and the debauchery as well. For a second, it looked like Pitt might play in this thing. So if that was like at that point, I feel like if you don't know that rivalry, and I know school's out for summer, but still that rivalry would have been insane to see in a regional there, with them just 45 minutes apart in the backyard brawl. One of the nastiest rivalries I've ever seen. Dub V's -105. Molly Line Mac was in here earlier talking about their lock. Of course, Wake Forest +180, Kentucky, your Wildcats Bieniek +450, and Binghamton. I think I told the story on the basketball show that Binghamton's whole economy is basically set up through a prison. Shout out to Binghamton, New York. Right?
Is that where their $60 million anonymous donor came from for baseball?
The warden probably. You saw Shawshank, right? Right?
I never knew it was about the prison.
I was watching some random shit. I was watching. We talked about this on the basketball show. It was like I was watching something about like prisons or something, and then like one of the most grossing prisons, Binghamton, New York. Their whole economy goes through this prison. I'm like, no shit. So Binghamton, that's what I like that. Right? They got a basketball team, a baseball team. Next thing you know, they got to get football going. But guys, I don't really think this regional is that tough. I think W is going to blow through this thing. It is a really interesting regional here that's heading to Morgantown. You have a Kentucky team that has plenty of talent. Like they have a couple of guys that are going to be day one draft picks in the MLB draft. They only won 2 of their 10 SEC series though, and their bullpen blows. It sucks. It's putrid. It's one of the worst in the country. I don't know how they're an NCAA tournament team, but their weekend rotation's fine. And Jackson Jelkin in game 1 could go all right against Wake Forest, and then they could bring back Jelkin if they play further into the weekend. That will definitely happen. Wake Forest, a lot of raw talent again. This is a program now that's had, I think it's 2 or 3 first round draft picks now. 2 or 3 years in a row. So Wake Forest is there. Their thing is they are similar to NC State, and where they beat a lot of the bottom half ACC teams that were on the schedule and lost to a lot of the top half ACC teams on their schedule. Their record against Quad 1 is just 5-15. I agree with you, Colby. The -105 on West Virginia, I don't think is priced correctly. I do think Vegas hasn't been to Morgantown.
This place is going to be on fire. They're going to be burning couches on the other side of the street where the ballpark's at. They've played really good at home this season. And I do think they have really good balance. It's an elite weekend rotation with a couple of good arms in the bullpen. They can get a little bit thin there, but in the same aspect, none of these teams are really elite in the pen. Wake Forest arms can really, struggle to hit the broadside of a barn. So, the thing about this regional is West Virginia and Kentucky's coaching staffs know each other extremely well. They've faced each other in the NCAA tournament 3 of the last 4 years. Last year, they were the regional final in the Clemson regional. And then both West Virginia scrimmaged both Wake Forest and Kentucky this fall. In those fall scrimmages, literally everybody is hitting, everybody is pitching. You get to know literally every arm, every player on these rosters. These teams know each other extremely well, and I'm excited to figure out what's going to happen. My prediction, my pick is minus 105 dub v JP.
Yeah, I said I was like an unbiased Big 12 guy, but I think I'm going to take 4 out of the 5 Big 12 seeds to win the regional. I love the Mountaineers at home. I totally agree. I think there's no way in hell that Vegas has been to Morgantown with them being priced minus 105. Yeah. It's a team that's just been knocking on the door of Omaha the past few years. They've played in super regionals 2 years in a row now. And I think they're just destined to get back there and they're juiced to host this regional. Like those boys are fired up.
If there's another angle, it would be Kentucky because they're used to hillbillies being pissed drunk, right? That's the only
absolutely
right. Like
their coaching staff has been really good in the NCAA tournament too, so that I wouldn't rule them out, but I don't feel confident in them.
I'd go Kentucky over Wake. Wake hasn't done it for me this year, where Kentucky actually in some weekends has it's probably just because I've watched those games and not Wake Forest, but Wake hasn't really done it for me. So yeah, if there's anything else, I'd go UK and the Buzzcats, but to keep that, I also have a future on them. So to keep that alive, but
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Nothing like seeing it out of Kentucky with a series loss against Missouri, LSU, South Carolina. Hell yeah. Let's go Cats.
Shout out to Tailgate Report. It goes, not happy about the 2 to 4 seeds after seeing Old Piss St. John's in the projections. But his brother Drew and I are still coming, he says, to your to see the Morgantown mayor. Molly Line McIntosh, fresh from Billy Ray's Tacos, for the beer and the broads. Party starts Thursday night. Anyone going, make sure you hit those guys up. That I'm telling you, I have been to Morgantown once in my life, and only once for a reason.
Yeah,
because I got pepper sprayed, arrested, pepper sprayed. I mean, yeah, go to Morgantown. Go to Morgantown. All right, that just. Vegas doesn't know.
Did you guys have 1 or 2 favorite regional prices, value bets, favorite bets here on the show?
I'll say one quick funny story about West Virginia baseball before we get on is I went on a visit to West Virginia when I was a sophomore in high school, and I was debating I was maybe going to stay the night overnight and go to the basketball game. And one of the guys that I knew on the team who was from the Cincinnati area asked if I wanted to meet him out at the bars. He had no idea that I was 16 years old. I did not have an ID at the time. And yeah, he actually considered that. He was like, you'll be with us. Like, you're totally fine if you want to. So no, just thought that was a funny.
No, yeah, 16, you'll get right in. If you have all your teeth, they look at you a little weird. But I'm joking. I just like this to make fun of Mac, but I did get pepper sprayed. There was a good time. What were you going to say, Bieniek? The plays that we like most?
Yeah,
is that what you were getting at?
Yeah. Favorite prices, favorite bets for the regionals. I can start us off. Quite frankly, do I think that they have a great shot of winning the regional? No. So that's a great way to start off a favorite bet or a best bet, right? But Cal Poly 15-1. I think the price is way too high. UCLA minus 900. I get it. They're the number 1 team in the country, number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. Just look at the last 2 months of baseball they've played. They haven't looked as crisp, as sharp. Cal Poly coming out of the Big West, which I believe is an underrated conference overall nationally. and they had the best offense in that league, facing top-notch pitching from every single team in the conference. Elite arms from UCLA shouldn't really affect that group whatsoever. I do think the next favorite price for me is I was loving Arkansas prior to JP kind of teetering me one way, and the feeling like, hey, Kansas could be this year's Coastal. Should have been in a top 8 seed, got disrespected with the seeding, and now they're catching a SEC 2 seed that literally everybody is picking to win the regional. It has me having cold feet, but plus 140 on Arkansas I think is a great price, and the market's kind of telling you that they're the favorite to win the regional instead of Kansas. And then the other one for me was Oklahoma State, plus 190 to win the Tallahassee regional.
Well, I'm with you on the Cal Poly one. All right. All over the Cal Poly one. That one just makes too much sense at plus 1,500. After that, I am going to attack Go Beavs at plus 165, and then after that, it's the Raging Cajuns, and then of course, Raging Cajuns. What were they? Plus 800? Was that 800? Yeah. I just feel like that you're running a saw down there, and then of course the final play will be the 600. Those and Little Rock for JP. Since I'm going against your boys, I feel guilty. All right, Little Rock is going to be the play here. Let's go with Little Rock. Fire away, JP.
Yeah, first pick, best pick, Little Rock plus 1,900. It's Destiny. The other one that I like, just because Texas choked last year, and you're adding Jackson Flora into the mix, I'll take a shot at UC Santa Barbara plus 650. Next, I think I haven't truthfully decided like Arkansas or Kansas. I might take a shot. Like, I don't know though. Like, I don't know if I'm confident in that, in the money, like the price is not great. Since I'll be in person, I will sprinkle a little bit on my Bearcats plus 600. Let's see. I will be taking the Pokes in that Alabama regional. And I haven't decided on if I'm going to be on the Beavs or not, but that would be my last one. And then maybe Cal Poly. I agree with what Noah said. Like, the pricing on that is just way too crazy to not maybe have a bit of piece in the pie there. But me personally, I don't love to bet these regionals straight up. I love looking at the matchups game to game and just picking one game that I think the team that can win, rather than the odds on these just haven't really stuck out to me enough to make me go crazy about any of them. But yeah, those would be the ones that I like and play.
Fair. Bieniek, how do you want to shout out to Robert Martin giving us 20 Canadian? Appreciate you, Robert Martin. Who does he root for here? Nebraska? No, or South Dakota State? I'm just trying to figure out like what's the closest. Binghamton, maybe? To Canada.
Probably Binghamton.
Yeah, Binghamton. Let's go, Robert Martin. Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this. We went with like some of our dogs there. What do you think, like gun to your head, safest that you could say, but it's got to have positive value. You know, you can't say, well, Georgia Tech's going to take down the Atlanta Regional, right? Like, what is the safest one to you?
Think you, like we were talking about this regional by regional. I think a real safe parlay is Auburn, Georgia, and then throw in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, Auburn and Georgia is at minus 135, which, like, I would play that, but
yeah, I would take those two.
even throw Georgia Tech in there and you're getting that to minus 101. I know it's a minus 700, but you're at least getting to even money.
Yeah.
And we were all felt fairly confident in Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Yeah. The year after the year.
Year
after the year. All right, folks, that's our show. If you are in Morgantown, make sure you hit up Moneyline Mac or
maybe
report.
Or go away for the weekend.
Yes. I don't think there's many like that though, that want to go away.
No.
Like you're talking like there's one gal that freshman year, and she said, I'll stay this summer. She's making a mistake and she doesn't realize what she's walking into. But make sure you check out, and hit me up too. If you're going to go to Chapel Hill, as me and GBO Farms, and hopefully on Saturday NC Nick will be out there, as long as tickets aren't $5 bajillion, which apparently it might be. But yes, if you're going, and by the way, if you're going to any of these things, make sure you tag us, take a photo, tag us at TCE on SGPN on Twitter
live.
or Instagram. And we enjoy that. Yeah. We always say you're looking live. So let us know.
We went 2 hours and 45 minutes somehow, some way, and did not plug our bracket challenge. The link is in the description of the YouTube channel and the podcast episode. Enter the bracket challenge. I don't know the prize. We still got to talk to Kramer and Sean on that.
It's a mistake.
I'm sorry
join
about
up
that.
the bracket challenge.
We have a bracket challenge, and we're bad at promoting it.
The CPU is enrolled in the process of learning computer.
I'm a learning computer. All right. Come play with us. All right. And win prizes and money and things. All right.
Things.
Yes. I'll send you a deck of cards.
We're getting delirious.
Give Bieniek a follow on Twitter at NoahB77_. Give JP a follow. And make sure you check out the Head First podcast and 11.7. I mean, we're killing it all across the board here.
Yeah.
And check out the College Football Experience preview at 138 teams.
JP, who did you land on interviews, by the way, on Head First podcast?
I just interviewed Noah Sullivan from Mississippi State and Chase Horse, the closer for Jacksonville State. And then tomorrow, I believe we'll be getting Lee Amade from the Raging Cajuns. And then possibly a player from Kansas. And then I've been in talks with some dudes from Georgia and Arkansas. And then Coach Bischel is for sure coming on. So I have the Starkville Regional pretty much covered. Those were actually scheduled like before today's draw. So
talking Mountain Dew and Disney with Coach Bischel. Got it.
Yeah, he loves both of those things. So yeah, it'll be interesting chat with him tomorrow. Should be fun.
There we go.
Last thing I wanted to ask, since I mentioned it at the beginning and we didn't bring it up again, what's the regional for most beers drank, do we think?
There are some sneaky ones in here though. Like I know the Wahoos won't do anything, but I can trust Hattiesburg with some Jacksonville State fans. What, like 3 hours away, 4 hours away, and I don't know if Little Rock will travel, but that was interesting. I also thought the Nebraska region.
I was going to say that.
Was my answer. Yeah. Lincoln.
If you get the degenerate Arizona State group, which I feel like it's fairly
all
popular
of them are.
in that crowd.
I just read they're number one in STDs too. So
Ole Miss and Nebraska will drink a lot of beers, and I mean you got to think the Jackrabbits, South Dakota State, those guys know how to drink beer, right?
Yeah. I that's a good because
they're a great football fan base.
They are. That's what I'm saying. Like, well, I don't know though, but you have West Virginia and Kentucky in one region.
I was going to say it also, like at North Carolina, the host, it may not be encouraged by the host, right? Like they'll be offering wine and
I'm
cheese.
telling you, they're going to try
Morgantown
to
and Lincoln.
Yeah. Morgantown's number one for me. I'm sorry.
They will be throwing out beers.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. And when you add in Kentucky, are you kidding me? Like as much as I want to say ECU and Tennessee could handle their own, Chapel Hill's going to finagle their way to make sure that they're not going to be able to get in the game. I feel like whereas Morgantown, by them being the host,
I like Lincoln for that reason too. Like they could throw them back as well. There's nothing to do in Middle America.
Fair. I mean, I think they're all solid. Like, what? Let me ask you this: if you're going to say that, what is the worst?
It's got to be UCLA for me, especially considering they don't sell beer at Jackie Robinson Stadium.
Yeah, unbelievable. By the way, it's California. What are we talking about here? Like, that's got to be. You're probably right too, because Cal Poly, bunch of nerds there. Yeah, St. Mary's. Yeah, you're right. That was pretty easy. All right, folks. Appreciate you all, and we'll be back. Obviously, the road to Omaha is heating up, so can't wait. Check out the college football experience. Check out the college basketball experience, and like I said, college football experience. All 138 teams, 1 hour for every single team in all the land, like we do each and every year. Shout out to Robert Martin, also giving 50 Canadian to you, Bieniek. Let's go. Till next time, folks. This is the college baseball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can get it, run and shoot.